Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm going to start soon, so grab your pizzas and come back, get some drinks, and then we'll get started in like 2 minutes. Is it echoing? Hello, hello.
We can hear you.
It's, well, I have a little control over this audio system, so if it's echoing, sorry. Hello, hello. Hey, Abbott. Oh, this is better. Okay, so I should hold it. Okay. Okay, let's try one more time without holding. Hello, hello.
Yeah.
Hello, is this good? Okay, great. Microphone works.
I think maybe it's good.
These are directional microphones, so it has some problems. So I use non-directional microphones, so it has, those are cheaper and it doesn't have the directional problem. So if I'm not looking straight, if I'm looking this way or this way, it might not work, so anyways.
You mind if I say hello?
Oh yeah, please.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Microsoft. My name is David. I work here, so I'm your host. This is my job. Welcome to my job. I just want to give you a little bit of logistics information. The restrooms are that way. The pizza is that way. And my phone is ringing, but I'll answer that later. And I want to call attention to one thing. On this Wednesday evening, we are hosting an event, the Chicago Cloud Computing User Group. I would love for you to come. The URL is right on the board, on each of these boards here, chicagocloudug.com. Go there and please register for the event. And the reason I ask you to register is because it gets you through building security much more easily, and it allows us to know how much pizza to order for the event. But we're going to have someone from from McDonald's coming in to talk about identity management, which I think is going to be fascinating because identifying users and security over a distributed system like a bunch of franchises is a big challenge. I'm really interested in hearing how McDonald's handles something like that. So please come. It'll be in this room on Wednesday, April 8th, a week from yesterday at 6 p.m. Free pizza, bring your friends. And I'm going to turn it over to Ron now. Thanks a lot. Somebody suggested we should have free hamburgers. If anybody has a contact at McDonald's that wants to buy us burgers, come on in.
And fries.
Yeah, and fries. And like.
Thanks, David. Thanks as always for hosting us at Microsoft. I think this is going to be better. I'm going to hold the microphone closer to my mouth so everyone can hear me properly. Okay, so we have, as always, a very, very packed program today. So we, without further ado, I'm going to get started. So we have an executive panel on how AI is affecting the hiring process. Paul here is always in charge of the panel organization, and he's been sponsoring the event today as well. We have other sponsors here. We're very glad they help us with these events. AI Alliance, AITP Chicago chapter, Microsoft Open Development Platform, and the AI Collective. So after that, I will update you about my 1.0 release. Finally, it's here, 1.0, and we'll have some demos as always. We have actually 3 demos today, 3 separate demos, and then Professor Abid Ali, who's here, my partner, he's going to talk a little bit about what we are doing with 4288 Ventures, and Ahmed Antar, who's a professor at Harvard, he's on Zoom. But the Zoom translation always doesn't work out very well with the audio, so he'll say hi, but I think mostly it's going to be Abid who's going to talk about digital emissions, how we can calculate digital footprint of almost everything in this world. There'll be a little demo of that as well. And then, of course, my head developer, Diptam, is going to do a demo. He's in Kolkata right now. Abhi, my son, he's sitting right here. He's going to talk a little bit about sports AI. And George, he'll also tell you and give a little bit of demo of our product. Okay? So moving on, that's the Microsoft Center. All the information is here, as always. I would like to thank David Nielsen from AI Alliance, Paul, of course, from AITP, David, who was just here. He helps us with the facility, and Mary, she's with AI Collective. Okay, before we start, we are on a very big mission, and we are back to the moon. So I can't have today's session without actually talking a little bit about it. So don't want to get too far into details. As you know, I'm always interested in astronomy and stuff like that with my CTN project and all that. You can catch the live events going on inside the spacecraft from this one. And this is how we are going to go around the moon and come back in the Artemis 2 mission. And then the Artemis 3 mission, I think 2028 or so, it's an aggressive plan. They're planning to go to the moon again. So that's exciting. And here's the team that would be there. Okay, these guys are already in the spacecraft. They launched yesterday at 6:30, I think, 6:30 something Eastern time. So they're on a very, very critical mission to test out our going to the moon. Okay, so having said that, I'm going to switch over to ResearchNet. Okay, so that's me. You can connect me on LinkedIn. And this is our 1.0 release. Oh, little graphics, okay. That's a little more about me, but you don't have to read it right now. Okay, what is open development? That's, again, it's one of my other company. We're going to make it into a nonprofit soon. And this is how we're streaming things, doing events and all that, everything pro bono. And I used to head Center for Advanced Studies for IBM, which is our university and research organization. So I'm still involved with them. AI Alliance, they're a group of 100+ organizations. They sponsor us for a lot of things. Open development as well as ResearchNet is part of AI Alliance. So we are members of the AI Alliance. And we are thinking about starting a chapter here. If everything is approved, we'll see. So that's IBM CAS, Center for Advanced Studies, where I used to work before. Okay. Back to ResearchNet. So I think whoever has come to some of my presentations has seen this multiple times. I don't want to get into too much details about this. It's an automation platform. So what is the problem that we are trying to solve? We never have enough resources, and nowadays we have even less resources to do the job. Quality of generated code is poor. Lifecycle management is not there, observability is not there in the generated automated stuff and all that stuff. Okay, so what is our main use case? So this is just one of our use cases. So what we want to do is process research materials, download from arXiv or other places. We are always experimenting with arXiv because it's free. A lot of papers are getting released in arXiv, and we want to handle the whole life cycle eventually. So slowly we are getting there. Not day one, but you'll see what we have achieved in a 1.0 release. Okay, so this is a pyramid that I always show. So you go from unstructured code all the way to really good best practices, and then you do pattern engineering so that you can replicate that into multiple applications and products and everything else. So I'll show you a little bit about that. Okay, so what is the solution? We want to automate all the processes of the lifecycle management through our agents. We'll show 2 of the agents which are in release 1 now and how they work. We'll give a short demo of that. It is combining LLMs. It's not just generated through LLMs. It is all deterministic in nature. So just an example, if you give a prompt to LLM, you can get slightly different results every time. This will not do that, okay? That's very problematic. From a code perspective, it needs to be retested and all that stuff. Okay, pattern engineering is at the key of this, and we are addressing all this other stuff. Okay, so what is a product innovation? So the pattern engine is at the heart of all this stuff. We are doing something called deterministic NLP generation. So every time it's always the same results if you don't change anything. So it is about understanding what you're saying and to generate what you actually want to do. And then we are doing some research into deep NLU. And that's an ongoing process. It's going to improve over time. And yeah, and we'll keep on giving you updates. Okay? So at the heart of it is that accelerated asset pattern, which basically we give you a free runtime to run things like, say, ActiveX or .NET. Everyone would give you a free runtime to run the stuff that automates things. So it's not totally dependent on the libraries. You can run it independently through once it's generated. And then we have our own specifications. It's a huge specification. We will not have time. Just contact me if you're interested. So we have a specification for almost everything in the product lifecycle. And that is what we are implementing for these reusable patterns. Okay, this is the famous diagram. It's on our website everywhere from day one, from our MVP last year. So we are going to do two things today. So the top part of it, which is getting the document from archive or anywhere else, eventually, it's a matter of calling that API. We'll go through Docling to parse the document. We're going to create embeddings through natural language, understanding and all that stuff. OCR, we are not going to demo. We did a demo sometime back. We haven't done anything more than that yet on the OCR part. And the models are actually improving. Gemini, Gemma, all these models are improving, so we'll look into it later. And Docling has also promised us some OCR stuff. Anyway, so we will not look into that, but we will look into knowledge graphs. We showed you in an earlier state about Neo4j. This time it'll be memgraph in our and Milvus for the vector database in our presentation. And then the other part of it, so this is where the research agents exist, and the other part, which is completely pattern engineering based, is called Vortex, and I'll give you a little bit of demo on that as well. Okay, so now for the big announcement of our 1.0 product. Okay, so we are releasing two things. One is called Athena, which is a personal research agent, and also Metis, which is the enterprise research agent. They look and feel pretty much similar, but the architecture behind it, I'll show you how the architecture is quite different. The functionality, how it works, is very different. So this is, Metis is actually meant to be done at an organization level, at an enterprise level, so it can scale. It has Dockerized components that can scale on a Kubernetes cluster or wherever. On the other hand, there's a lot of people looking for a small footprint on your laptop that can run on your laptop. You might not have a GPU, it will run a little bit slower, but everything is local. So it's absolutely secured. We can secure Metis as well. But this can run on your laptop. It's just a simple exe. You run it, you can process all your documents, you can download your documents absolutely without the connection of anything. So once the download is done, you can process your documents, you can talk to your documents, and you can eventually do research and go down the research stream, eventually write papers or develop code or whatever you want to do with your research, okay? So we'll do a demo of both of these products today. One is called Athena, and the other one is called Metis, okay? So before we give the demo, let me first show you the architecture behind it. So it's a very simple UI based on React. All our UIs are based on React. It uses something called Electron. So if you're not familiar with Electron, it compiles the Node and React components into a single exe. exe on Windows or DMGs on Mac. So it can support both, all three environments that people use: Mac, Linux, and Windows, of course. Okay? It does serve the host through Ollama. In this particular release, we only have Ollama, not Hugging Face. That will be in a future release very soon. So we have been testing with Hugging Face as well, but this release only has Ollama. So whatever models you can download through Ollama in their ecosystem is fair game. You can run it. Now, it splits into two parts. One is the vector database. We're using LansDB for that. We're not going to Quadrant in this release, but we'll do that upgrade to Quadrant is a little more complex. This is very simple, very thin. We're using SQLite behind the scene for all the metadata processing and all that stuff in an RDBMS. And these are for the future. In the future, you will be able to fine-tune your own models on your laptop and go from there, okay? So it's more personalized for you, okay? And so let's see a little demo of this thing that we are talking about. So Diptam is in Kolkata, and we usually try to do live demos. He's clicking buttons from Kolkata and going through Zoom. Like I said, we never had very good success with Zoom, and that's why we have recorded it on popular request. So, okay, let's run this thing.
Hello everyone, I am Diptam, Head of Development here at ResearchNet.ai. This is a short demo of ResearchNet new product, Athena, which is a local private research assistant. Athena works on a scoped knowledge basis. On the left hand side, we have all the scopes that we can have, and on the right hand side, we have all the knowledge control. Before we look into how Athena works, let's look at how the scope knowledge is done. This is a overview of the scope that can be there in Athena. On the top level, we have projects. You can have multiple projects, but when you start Athena for the first time, we will be giving you a brand new project to start on. You can obviously create new ones. Each project will have a global workspace, and users can create as many workspaces as they want. Each of the workspace can have sessions. Main thread. Users can branch off from the main thread as many times as they want. And when they are satisfied with the answer, they can merge back into the main thread. And this can be done with any workspace in any session. This is an overview of how Athena's knowledge scoping works. Now let's look at how Athena works. To first start Athena, you will be given a default project and a global workspace for this default project. You can obviously go ahead and create a new project. Let's call it Black Holes. For this new project, we have another global workspace, but we can go ahead and create a new one called Black Holes Workspace. Now let's create a session, which is a chat session. Let's name it Intro to Now this is your chat window, and this is all the knowledge control that you can do. Let's first ask the agent to answer what is black hole. The assistant is now streaming the answer. This is the answer that our assistant gave. We can now improve upon this by providing more details. We can upload files from here. Files can be of different types, and we can track folders also to track multiple files at once. So for now, let's upload a file in the current thread, which is this session or this branch. Let's click on add new, and let's upload a PDF of research paper. Now this PDF is uploaded, and in the backend it's getting chunked and vectorized. You can close this and ask another query. But for now, let's do more research and go to the thread research tab and ask archive to find us relevant documents. The agent will use the archive API and find relevant documents for your query. You can obviously look at the history or clear out the panel. If you want to look into the paper by yourself and then only add it to the database of Athena, you can do it from this button. But for now, I will just go ahead and click on this thread button, which will add this document into the thread context. I'll go ahead and add this paper also. Now in the backend, the RAG processing engine will process all those documents and it will vectorize the PDF and store it in our vector database. Then we have another tab which is called archive. Here you can track files or folders or even take notes. We'll come to this in a moment. This is there to make sure that whatever you have done in your past research, any files that you have created can be imported in Athena and can be used in chat context. Then we have take note feature. If you take any note throughout this thread, then those will be visible over here on thread, session, workspace or project. Now what is note? Say you are chatting and you found some new information. You don't want to create a new PDF, but you want to store that information so the bot can access that. You can click on this scratchpad, which is a note taking feature, for adding it to the thread, or you can click on session note to add it to the whole session, or you can click it the WS note and it will add the note to the whole workspace. Now let's create a note for the thread only. This will open up a tab and you can type in whatever information that you want the bot to access. You can say, I like black holes. You can name this note. And then obviously you can click on save and it will save into this note feature. As you can see, when I clicked on save, it saved here my view on black holes. You can click on it and it will allow you to edit the note. Now there is this scoped knowledge feature. This basically shows all the knowledge that was added for this thread, for the session, or for the current workspace, or for the current project. So you can click and see what was added. Remember, we did some thread research and I added some archive papers. Those are added over here. Because we added in the thread, that's why they're visible in thread. We added some files from the file upload. That's why this PDF is also here. And we created some notes. So that's why the note is also here. Now, this is the chat settings. Over here, you can enable RAG and use latest research. If you enable RAG, then it will only answer from the uploaded sources. If you enable latest research, then it will look at the date of the uploaded files and only the latest notes will be used. If there is no latest note, then it will give priority to the nearest latest note. Now let's ask it another query. With this question, I have enabled latest research and knowledge RAG. So it will go through all the scope knowledges and answer based on that. Now the assistant has answered the question. You can see when the RAG was enabled, a sources button is present now. This basically lists all the sources that were used to answer this question. You can click on more and fork the session. We'll come to it again. Regenerate the answer and promote the knowledge to either workspace or to the project. Or say you want a single line to be added as a note. Say in simpler terms, this line is important for you. You can highlight this line like this and a button will appear which says I think this is important. If you click on it, this will add this as a note. You can obviously edit the note and click on save and it will be added here in the scope knowledge and also in the taken note part. Now say you want to continue this chat but in a different session. You can click on more and click on fork session. This will create a fork of the previous session and all the history will be preserved. Now let's go back to the first session. Over here you can see a button called branch. If you click on it, then you can create a new branch in this whole thread. If you remember the diagram, we had the main session, and when you branch off, we create another thread which is a children thread of this main thread or a main branch. Let's call it new thread. Great. As you can see, this shows it's all inherited from the previous one. Now you can continue chatting over here. Say now about my question, tell me a fact about singularity. It answered, but see, this is in the main only, which was branched off from the previous one. If you want to see all the branches, then you can click on this map icon and it will show all the branch and sub branches of that. As you can see, this was the main branch and we branched off over here and created a new branch. Now let's say after this you want to merge this knowledge with the main one, because you found some information over here that should be there in the main thread or the main branch. You can right click on it and click on the place where you want to add the information. This will create a merge history. If I close it, as you can see, this is a merge history. So when you merge two branches, it will create a merge history by default. Then you can go ahead and edit it and add more information. Then click on create merge summary. That will merge those two branches. But you can obviously continue with all the other branches of that thread, because a thread is not getting collapsed into the main one. It's just the information is getting carried over to the main one. So you can continue with that thread, but for now let's create the merge summary. As you can see, in the main thread, if I go to the map, in the main thread there is a new entry, and that entry is this merge summary, which merges all the relevant information from here, from the child branch to the main branch. And you can continue chatting. So this basically adds a history in the context, and all of that can be helpful for your new research. Now to summarize, every thread can be branched off as many times as you want. Threads can be merged together, that will create a merge summary into the thread that was getting merged into. These threads are collectively called a session. Multiple sessions can be there in a workspace, and multiple workspaces can be there in a project. A project will always have a global workspace. You can create as many workspaces or as many projects or as many sessions or as many branches you want, or upload as many documents you want, or do as many research on archive. The backend is handled by Ollama, so pull any model from Ollama and you can get started working on that. If you click on settings, it will show you can change the models from here. So say you pull a new model, you can come here and change the model to that, and the Athena bot will use that model only. You can backup your data. The backup will basically create a new folder and store all the documents there. So in case something happens, you can always retrieve from there. By default it's for 7 days, but you can always reduce or increase this time.
Thanks, Satyam. And he's actually on Zoom. And if you have any questions, we can talk about it. But this finally, so
Hello,
if you
everyone.
you guys are doing research.
Here at researchnet.ai. This is a short demo of ResearchNet new product, Athena.
Yeah, okay. So if you're doing research, you are slowly refining your research and going up the stream. And that's basically what the tool is helping you do. And in each step of the process, there's AI to guide you or help you through it. And eventually you would be able to retune your own models to how you're thinking, what you want to do in the research and all that. Plus, there's other NLU aspects that is eventually going to evolve. Okay, so this is the other research agent, and this is the scalable one. So this is behind the scenes what's going to happen. So it's the same React app, which will connect to the back end, and this involves queues and all kinds of things, so it's scalable. You can, right now in this particular release, we don't have multi-people talking and chatting, but that will be a feature in the near future. We're working on that. And basically, you can collaborate with people, and you can have research objectives, and eventually fine-tune that and go to whatever you want, right? So this will give you a memgraph thing that I was telling you about. We are also working on something that would improve the actual usability. You'll see it's not very usable, a memgraph or Neo4j when you're actually doing research. So we will have our products soon for dealing with that. But this is queue-driven, and it can be scaled. Okay. So that's the next demo of Metis.
So this is a short demo on GraphRag pipeline, where we will demonstrate how we take raw PDFs and convert them into event-driven knowledge engine. So our pipeline basically extracts specific relationships, triplets, to build the said knowledge graph. So yeah, let's get on with it then. I'm going to go ahead and upload the PDF. So for this demonstration, we are going to go ahead and upload a paper on black holes. So this is the paper. So yeah, while our backend receives the PDF, it goes ahead and converts it into text chunks. We basically fire them into the message queue to prevent our application from bottlenecking. So yeah, if we switch over to the terminal, it's listening for those incoming messages from the queue, which will later be acknowledged and processed into the NLU pipeline. So for now, this might take a while, actually, this whole process. In the meantime, I'll go ahead and give a quick walkthrough on of the data pipeline. So yeah, it starts over here on the left, where a user drops the PDF into the UI, and it hits our Fast API in the backend. From there, we basically use a docklink to convert the PDFs into clean markdown files, and then we basically chop that text up into smaller manageable chunks. Now coming to the decoupling part, we don't usually run our heavy machine learning models right here and there because that would basically break our application. So instead, we act like a producer and fire the chunks into our message queue, which is kind of run by Artemis itself. This basically decouples the system, maintaining our API system to be very quick and efficient. Over on the backend side, our Python worker basically pulls those chunks from the queue one by one, and this is where the heavy lifting happens. We basically run the text through NLP modules like Spacy and Relic to extract the entities and relationships. Basically figuring out how everything connects and how we push them into memgraph to build our knowledge database. For storing the text, we use sentence transformers to turn the text into dense vector embeddings. Saving them right into the vector database, which is Milvus. So I think it should be done by now. No, it's still loading. Oh. Okay, so yeah, it's received. This should take a while, so we'll be right back.
By the way, this whole thing is still working locally on George's laptop. without any. So this is a very basic Mac. We are running all the Docker images and everything on there, and still works pretty well.
All right, so now that it is done, let me go ahead and enable the pipeline. So when you ask the question, the API basically instantly searches Milvus. And since we saved both the big paragraph chunks and those little triplet relationships in there as vectors, we can basically toggle them between chunk and triplet to pull exactly what we need. So let me go ahead and pose a question or make a relation as a query. Click on triplet, maybe keep it as one away Ash Taker and Ash Taker wormhole. Okay. Yeah. So you basically get the relationship over here. So it says Ash Taker wormhole is named after Ash Taker, which makes sense given the context. The next one I would think I would do is I would look for a question on maybe white holes. Maybe white holes versus black holes.
If you didn't notice, there's a relationship and a
So-
chunking feature over there.
White
So
hole
if you want to see references, you go the chunk
versus
way,
black holes.
or if you want to just see references of different things, how they're linked up, you do that.
Right. Okay, that was pretty quick. So it is, yeah, it has given a text chunk on the difference between a white hole and a black hole. So yeah, that's about it from the querying part. Now let's view the graphs, right? So for this, we are using mem graphs. So once we connect and run the relational query, we basically see a bunch of like nodes, or in certain cases, we might see interconnected nodes. So every circle that we see over here, right? So every circle that we see over here is is a key player or concept from our PDFs, and the lines that show exactly how they interact. So we've essentially built a literal connect the dots maps, so that the AI has to never guess or make things up. So in this regard, we can maybe click on one of the nodes over here. Okay, so it on this node right here, it says it's quantum mechanics. And if we maybe click on this node, maybe it says annihilate. And what does it say? It's a facet of quantum mechanics. Okay. Over here, if we click on this node, it says quantum fluctuations. And if we
This
click
is
on
the
line,
element
it
that
says that's
I
the
was
field
referring
of
to.
work.
Don't like about the UI
Okay,
of
and what does this one say?
most of these tools.
This
So
one
we are
says
working on
Stephen
something
Hawking,
that is
okay,
more
and what does
comprehensible.
this line
Like you have to
indicate?
click
He's a
here,
creator.
it shows
Alright.
Stephen Hawkins. It's very difficult to understand unless you go through the whole graph.
Alright,
And then
so
there
this
can be
one says
multi-layers
Hawking
of these
radiation,
graphs and clustering and all that
is
stuff.
named after Stephen Hawking. All right. So yeah, that is it for the demonstration. Thank you. All right. So this is a short.
So this is, okay, I guess there's a little bit of lag. Okay, so this is the pattern engineering piece of it. This is the Vortex pattern engine. Hello? Okay, I think it's better now. So I'm going to do a quick demo on this. Basically, the idea is, can we actually generate multiple products by the click of a single button? Each of the products are three-tier architectures, and basically this is how we're eventually going to deploy them. The deployment part is not in this release. There's some manual intervention required in the deployment part, but the rest of the part I'll show you, okay? So that's, I'll show you through my Eclipse tool and how we are getting through all these products at the same time, okay? So hold on. If I can get out of this. Okay. Okay, so you see there's a database connection on this side. Oh, I don't know what happened to the, so. I think it's the wrong, there we go. Okay, so this is nothing but Eclipse, okay? But there's something interesting here. So there's a database here, we have a bunch of tables and all that stuff. So I'm gonna run a cleanup script to delete all this before we start, and then we'll do a quick demo, okay? So let's start that, clearing out all the tables. Now we go into this branch, okay? So you see this catalog. This catalog has a bunch of assets. One of the assets is EEH, which is the Enterprise Event Handler. Then we have another product called ODP, which is nothing but our main product, the Open Development Platform. And we have settings for databases, REST, and all kinds of things. Then we have ResearchNet, Stripe, and then we have two of our partner products that we are working on. One is Blazing Tiger. I'll tell you a little bit about it today. It's sort of in stealth mode, but we'll reveal a little bit about it. And then Digital Emissions that Abid is going to tell you a little bit as well. Okay, so we have all this configured, okay, and in the data part, let's see if we have anything here. I'm going to delete it. And we're gonna, okay, so we have an instance. Okay. Delete. Okay, let's refresh this. Okay, no schemas are here. Okay, so we dropped everything. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to set the parameters for Vortex, very simple. We have a configuration where the catalog is, where we have multiple products, okay, and then we are saying the instance will go into the data instance directory. That's all we are saying. Let's run this thing. This runs really quickly, actually. But I have verbose mode just to show you that it's doing something rather than waiting for 2 minutes and just popping up with the results. Okay, so it does tons and tons of stuff. If I turn off verbose, it's obviously going to be faster. But I'll show you what it's actually doing behind the scene. Okay, we are done. So how long did that take? Not too much, I guess. 25,000 milliseconds, right? So 25 seconds, actually. So I have to go here, then I don't know why it's not replicating my screen, which is causing the problem. Okay, so now that we're done, let's go into our data. Refresh. Instance. Now let's see what it created. Okay, within assets, we have all these products. Let's just look into one, just because of time. So in the DB, what did it create? It created DDLs for us, for DB2 as well as for Postgres. Okay, so this whole script is created. There's lots and lots of tables in there. Okay, where's my mouse? Okay, what else did it do? It also created an app, which is our REST application. So if you go inside, it has its own configuration. It has its own thread pool and connection pool and all that stuff. Yeah, I want to get into main. This is Java JAX-RS. Okay. So for each of the tables, it will create its APIs, which is a lot. So you can imagine writing this by hand would take ages. And I can confidently delete these models and APIs and all that stuff and recreate it. It's going to be exactly the same. It's never going to change. So that is the beauty of this. It also created, I would not run and show you, it's going to take a while to do that, but it also created the UX part of it with all the components, pages, and all that stuff. Okay? So I'm going to move to the partner area. So Blazing Tiger is one of them. We are only generating the DDL and the REST API for it. So yes, it created all that. And the application. So anyways, so that's done. We also have, where's this mouse is problematic, okay. We also have digital emissions created, and the whole application and everything is there, okay? App, DDL, and all that. Now let's go into the database. Let's refresh. Let's see how the schemas got created. So it not only created it, it actually created the schema on the fly. And so if I go to DEF is basically digital emissions. So let's see if the tables are there. If I can click, yeah, there's some tables. But more importantly, if we go into the bigger one, which is our ODP, endpoints and everything. So all these tables are created, they're all set up, APIs are set up, everything is good to go. The only thing that remains is the deployment part, which we are working on a smaller release. Soon you'll see that, and then it'll be up and running in any server you want. So that's the whole idea behind the pattern engineering, and it's obviously deterministic. Okay, so having said that, I'm going to move on, and that's the power of the single click. Okay, so what next? Okay, so we did release this before in an earlier release, the managed services, so we can have a single pane of glass to monitor all this stuff. That's still there. The document processing is all there. We can generate documents. This is actually, we are packaging the presentation generation. The word generation is coming soon, probably in a couple of weeks. I would like to thank my team, the executive team, as well as, no, that wasn't the intent, and my development team. As you can see, our head of development, Diptam, Abhi is here. He's going to talk a little bit about, and this is the person, George, who's been helping us with the pipeline, okay, and the product. Next, this is Blazing Tiger. They're in stealth mode. As you can all see, it's a blazing tiger. Okay, so what does it do? It's a pen testing environment that we are generating. We generated the app and all that stuff on the fly for them. However, there's more things to be done, and they're coming out soon. So I would not say much about it, just a few words. It is to enable service providers and ethical hackers to deliver high-impact adversarial security testing against real-world threats. And that's all that I'm allowed to tell you guys till now, until they come out of stealth mode. And the CEO is in this room. I don't know if they want to reveal themselves, but anyways. So this is what we're trying to do with the pen testing environment. Moving on. Into the Cricket world. This we announced last time. We are doing a Cricket development and collaboration with Adelaide University with what we call the RoboCrick, which is robotics and cricket mixed together. And at this point, I would like to invite Abhi to come over and talk a few things about the application that we are building through Sports AI. Abhi.
Hey everyone, I'm Abhi. I'm a student at the University of Chicago Laboratory Schools as a sophomore, and while he gets up the presentation. Basically, what we've been creating for these for the past few months is a sports AI coaching expert, or SPACE, which is our abbreviation for that. So we're trying to create something that uses mathematics and statistical data to properly underscore all of the different coaching expertise that we have out today. We're starting with cricket because that's what I played growing up, and I still love to watch and play every now and then. So let's get started. So let's start with the problem. So right now, manual analysis is slow and also subjective to whichever coach is giving that analysis. Professional analytics are inaccessible to the tried and true club player that wants to look at their games after a match. The feedback lacks a visual representation. Sometimes a coach might tell you something, but not being able to see it in a graph or a nice suggestion in a little pop-up on the side is a little bit difficult, especially for the non-technical person who just wants to review their game. And finally, critical match insights are lost, kind of trying to transition between games, and there not being a quick enough way to analyze. All right, so this is kind of what we've been doing. These are like the 4 stages of our development. So what we started with is we created, we tracked the ball using Ultralytics, specifically their YOLO V8 model. Basically, this is the most optimized trade-off between accuracy and speed. It's supposed to track the ball in real time and not after the game. And then to train the actual model that tracks the ball, because YOLO only works when it's given a bunch of data. So Kaggle has a big data set, around 1,800 images, to train the model to specifically detect all the seams and intricacies of a cricket ball. And then the next step, which I've already sort of integrated, is live video integration with OpenCV, helping automate the output frame by frame, so you can actually hook up a live feed and get tracking right away. And also not listed here is MediaPipe, which is Google's analytics software, where it basically tracks 32 joints in the human body, so we can accurately make predictions using that. And the final step is building up the UI and dashboard for players and coaches to navigate easily and have more advanced metrics that we create, kind of marking the shift away from traditional LLMs and chatbots, and using math and statistics to guide our analysis. All right, so moving on. So going into a little bit of the research that we've done, obviously it's important to study the biomechanics. For example, I was a fast bowler growing up. So quality fast bowling has 4 distinct phases: the run-up, the delivery stride, releasing, and then the follow-through, all of which should be optimized to prevent lower back injury, increase speed, increase variation, make your bowling more deceptive. And in the past few decades, coaches have already discovered some optimization techniques, such as knee bracing and trunk flexion. But this is just planting the seeds. We can obviously go a lot further. And then also different types of deliveries and their usefulness, especially for different types of bowlers, can be analyzed because a bowler might have 10 different variations, but if they're not able to use them properly, then it's obviously no good. And lastly, it's also important to note that even though we're doing this biomechanical analysis, the most optimal textbook way of playing might not be the best for every single player, so we have to figure out a way to create personalized analytics using the way that they play best. Moving on, I already talked about MediaPipe briefly, but we're using biomechanics to analyze skeletal movements. So we get every single muscle in the body. As you can see, there's 20 different joints just in the hand alone. So that's how we're going to track the bowler's grips, how a batsman holds the ball, what angle their hip is at, and many other stuff that we've been looking at. And that, as I mentioned, will be designed to kind of overlay these as like a dashboard on the side in real time as the feed is going through. So our solution is to create statistical analysis rooted in data. a product accessible to even club players, and a user-friendly, navigatable experience to receive easy post-match insights. So a little look into what it looks like. So it works with both pictures and videos. So as you can see at the top, this is kind of what it looks like with the front end and everything in. So it tracks the players with the media pipe detection, as I talked about, and then it gives information on the side, such as the ball speed, the joint angles, and other stuff. There's a balance score up top, which means the bowler is at 94% balanced according to MediaPipe's already determined algorithms. And then we've designed it so it can search up any video from YouTube that you wanted to perhaps analyze. You can import any files from your computer, and you can even just hook up your webcam and record yourself playing directly from your phone or laptop or whatever. And then you can also export your video when you're done, so it's not just like a one-time thing. So yeah, these are some of the resources we use. Thank you so much for listening to me about our sports AI. I'll try to take any questions.
There's a question over there, I think. Yeah. What? Was there a question over there?
Yeah, that's what I plan on doing, obviously, to baseball, soccer, basketball, etc. Yeah, I do plan on having like a whole empire of, yeah.
On that vein, what do you think is the easiest sport other than cricket to put it in? Would it be baseball? Or?
Yeah, so cricket is actually one of the hardest. Turns out there's lots of moving parts. I've experimented with soccer and basketball. It turns out it's much easier because, first of all, the ball is much bigger. So it's easier to train a model. Usually the cricket ball is like just a couple pixels wide. So you need like a really robust data set to train it on. Soccer, you just have the people kicking a ball around. So it's not as difficult.
I don't know if the cricket body would allow you to do this, but could you actually put like a tracker in the ball so that you would know exactly where it is?
Yeah, we thought about that. That's it's a great idea to get insights of where the ball landed. But yeah, this is more for like videos and how you can, yeah.
Yeah. One problem with that, Ronnie, is yeah, you can do that for practice and stuff, but the actual matches, they will not allow any tracker or anything inside the ball, right? So like golf balls. So Top Golf does this all the time, but those golf balls are special balls, specially made for Top Golf. They cannot be used in actual golf tournaments, right? So, but it can be tracked through video, so you don't need that, right? So our goal is to actually track it so precisely that you don't need any of that, right? So, yeah. Anything else?
Sorry, what'd you say? No, I haven't looked at volleyball yet, but yeah, I will surely look into it. All right, is that it? Thank you so much.
Thanks, Abhi. And by the way, he's just in 10th grade at University of Chicago High School. So great job, Abhi, for doing all this. Okay, so okay, next I would like to hand it over to Professor Abid Ali. And I didn't get your latest one. Do you want to download it? Okay.
Go to your research center. That's not about it.
ResearchNet, okay. ResearchNet would have less.
I also send it to your Yahoo.
Okay.
And by the way, it's not working. The sound is not working. He cannot hear us.
Who? Oh, that always creates a problem.
So do you want him here for a few minutes or no?
Yes, if you can, that'll be great, right? Save as.
So then you have his phone number, right? You text him when the time comes. I will text him.
Oh, yeah, just text him.
Did you download it?
Yeah. So which one is that? 42, yeah, this one? Okay.
The full screen. And then I come here for next slide.
I can move it for you.
No, it's okay. That's right.
This is PDF, right? You have to
Yeah.
page down or something.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Thank you. All right, good evening, everybody. Congratulations, Ron and Abhi, on these amazing, initiatives and releases. Okay, so my name is Abid Ali. I teach in Northwestern University. I'm also a senator there, one of the 100 senators. I also teach in the University of Chicago in the data science program, and I'm also a professor in the Booth CIO program. I worked in tech for a very long time, and I just now want to bridge the gap between academia and industry. So, and that's what brings me here. My friend and my neighbor Ron, we've been talking about this thing for a while now, and then I thought, let's just release it. So as you can see right here, my creativity is at the top. When I shared this presentation with Ron, he said, "Hey, since when Bean is on the lake?" I say, "In my Chicago, it is." So this is my creativity. And shows his keen eye as well, by the way. So, all right, so let's see, I will keep going. All right, so why don't we go on a journey? This is Harry. Harry has lots of ideas. Every day he has an idea. He's smart like Abhi. And he comes up with ideas, but what he doesn't have it is a chance. He has an idea, but no chance. So what should he do? Let's go with him on his journey. So he has tried everything, He sends emails. He submits applications. Every day he's spending like 2-3 hours doing this thing, but nothing happens. He's very frustrated, sitting there, thinking, what should I do? And guess what happens? One day, Harry meets Sally. How many of you have seen the movie? Right? So what happens when Harry meets Sally? Sonia, what happens? You don't remember? Good things happen, right? So... Yeah, good things happen. So Harry meets Sally. Sally happens to be a venture capitalist, and then she's looking for talent. And they met on the train stop. That's amazing. This is what is called luck. So Sally gives him her business card. He takes it. He goes home. He's like, what? I don't know anything will happen. Why not? I've sent like 1,000 emails. I'll send another one. So Harry sends an email. What happens next? Sonia, what happens next? Will Sally reply? You think so? Will you reply if I send you my deck?
Maybe not right.
You see, there you go. You're not Sally. Sally is good. Sally will be like, you know what? I will reply to this guy. He seems very smart, like Abhi. He has a good idea. Why not meet for lunch? Let's go. So they meet for lunch a week later. He tells her his amazing idea, probably in quantum computing or artificial intelligence, whatever is cool today, and she likes it. She said, hey, why don't we work on it? Let's invest in you because I believe in you. And then Harry is happy, maybe a unicorn after a few years, right? He's very happy because she believed in him and everybody else. But that's only in movies, right? Not in real life. Many of us have ideas, We have amazing entrepreneurs here tonight. One of them is my friend, Ulysses. Yeah, so what happens is that, if you think, this is a reality check, it's falling off my hands. All right, so if you think about it, not very promising here. If you think about it, see, Chicago is at the bottom. Still in top 10, but it's at the bottom, okay? Who's at the top? Obviously, Bay Area. And lately, in last couple of years, solopreneurs are on the rise, thanks to vibe coding. Lots and lots of people are coming with amazing ideas. They can quickly create MVPs, present it to venture capitals, and then if they get something, fine. Otherwise, they drop the idea, build something else. So that's why, if you think about it, in last few years, constantly the investment is increasing in solopreneurs, which is basically encouraging that anybody can build anything today. I can build it, you can build it. As long as you have an idea, you can do it. So the thing is that there's lots and lots of funds. I mean, some funds are investing like $1 million to $10 million, almost 1,000 funds, and some funds are very, very big, They're investing like almost $250 million. The problem is there's a lot of dry powder. What is dry powder? They have the money, but they have no way to invest. So now there's a gap, right? The Harrys out there are looking for money, and the Sallys out there are looking for entrepreneurs. What should we do? So that's my problem that I'm trying to solve here tonight. Because I live in Chicago, Chicago is home, so I want to bridge this chasm. We have the resources here. Chicago has a very active entrepreneurial scene, right? Ron knows that, I know that, you know that. We have all these resources, but the problem is that where are they? How do I connect them? How do I connect Harry with Sally, right? That's a big problem. Either you have to be part of a university, like me, University of Chicago or Northwestern, then I have access to all these people. Or if you have a good idea and you don't belong to any of these universities, then it's very difficult. So your idea is destined to die, which is not good, okay? So what should we do? I mean, this is something that bothers me. So I thought, we thought, Ron and I have been talking about it for the last several months, and we said, hey, why don't we create a third coast here? As they say, east or west, home is the west. For us, home is Midwest, right? So we thought, let's bridge it. Let's bridge the entrepreneurs with the VCs, and let's call it 4288. Why 4288? Anybody? Any guesses here? Nobody? I'll invest $1 in you if you answer this thing. All right, so 4288 is Ron's idea. These are coordinates. Chicago is on 41.8, longitude and 87.8 latitude. So this is, we are on the map. Okay, we are putting ourselves on the map. So we want Chicago to be the center of universe, because we are the center of universe, right? All the money, as you saw, is in Bay Area. Do you think people don't believe in Chicago? They do, but they don't know where are the Harrys, right? We want to bridge that gap, and I will tell you why, or how I can do it. So we want to bring innovation and investment from all over the world, not just from America, because there's a lot of innovation and investment happening all over the world. Middle East is investing a lot of money. So we want to bring that to Chicago, because we want to create opportunities here for people. It's not just about building the new or the next unicorn, right? Not everybody is going to be a unicorn founder. But what we want to do is we want to create an ecosystem. Because when you have a company, the company has lots of jobs. You have staff, you have security people, you have people in the kitchen, you have people in the cleaning staff. We have like thousands and thousands of jobs. So that's what we want to do. We want to create opportunities here in Chicago so we can change the entire socioeconomic situation here, okay? Because poverty leads to so many problems. We know that. I don't want to get into it. So how can we do it, Well, I already explained a bit who I am. So I'm very fortunate that I happen to work in both universities. So I'm very, very connected. Not just in the universities, I'm also very connected in the VC area. Actually, I work with Alumni Venture Group, which is a fund of hundreds of funds. It was actually founded in Harvard, and then I'm one of the fellows. So I'm always looking for good ideas and good founders, so I can introduce them. Second, because I'm a professor, so I know so many people, right? So if there's anybody looking for talent, it just takes me a text message, and I can call anybody. People respect me. And other than that, we also have global partners too. And then with ResearchNet, we also are building this thing for research, right? So lots of ideas. If you think about Google, if you think about OpenAI, if you think about Anthropic, they're all labs. They are all research labs. And then the research was actually commercialized. If you think about now the investment that is happening from the government as well as in the universities, there's a big push for converting the research into products. The commercialization of research is a big thing, right? So many people, many students have good ideas, but they don't know how to commercialize it. Many professors have good ideas, but they don't know how to commercialize it, right? So that's the problem we are trying to solve with the help of course, ResearchNet, and then, the ecosystem we are part of. So speaking of ecosystem, we have a few, we haven't launched it yet, by the way, even though today we are announcing it, but we have not raised a lot of awareness. We have some of the companies in our ecosystem. ResearchNet is one of them, and then Digital Emission is another of them. So let's see if Ahmed can hear us. He has joined us. He's a professor in Harvard. He used to be my professor, and now he's my friend. And I'm actually a co-founder as well as on the board for this Digital Emissions. Ron, should we try? Okay, he's busy right now. At the last moment when I need him, he's busy. Can we get Ahmed on Zoom? Yeah, let me see if I can call him. Do you have his phone number? So he will say a few words about digital emission, then I'll continue with the demo and everything, okay? Because there's some fun stuff on our website. Should we call him on the phone or like Zoom?
Yeah, the problem is Zoom
Phone's
you can't
fine?
hear.
Okay, let's do phone. Yeah. And then we can use speaker. Okay, I will call him. 1 moment. Let's see. So this is what is called technology at its best. I've done it many, many times, when Zoom is not working, phone is. Hello? Hello? Can you hear me? All right, I'm going to put you on the speaker and then you can say a few words to people, okay? Ready? Okay, one moment. All right, Ahmed, can you hear us?
I can, yeah.
Everybody can hear you. Go ahead. Tell us about digital emissions. You can introduce yourself first and then tell us about digital emissions.
All right, thank you. Well, thank you, Dr. Ali, and thanks to Ron for this opportunity. My name is Amar Antara. I'm the founder and executive director for Digital Emissions. Digital Emissions is a volunteer-based, nonprofit tech startup which is focused on promoting sustainable AI. We are bullish about AI and its potential, and we believe this emerging technology can unlock profound ways when it comes into climate change and addressing society needs. We're also cautious that if this technology is rushed or misused, this could have adverse impact on both the planet and humanity. So our mission is pretty much to raise awareness about sustainable AI and to influence its implementation in a responsible way. Pretty much kind of bringing this balanced approach from highlighting the costs and aligning them to potential solutions. We do this through a variety of ways, through building education tools, conducting research, forging partnerships with academia and other organizations within sustainability ecosystem and the industry, just like this wonderful relationship with ResearchNet AI. So again, our purpose is not to tell people to stay away from AI, because we talk a lot about how unsustainable it is, but more how to help foster a future that is both digital and sustainable at the same time. So I want to give my appreciations to this team here for all of the help and support they've been providing us. And thank you, Dr. Ali. Back to you.
Thank you, Ahmed. See you then. Bye. All right, so let's see what we have on the. So you guys can connect with Dr. Antar and you can connect with me as well. I want to show you guys a couple things. One, if you were to get involved, there's a few ways. This is just for digital emissions, by the way, right? If you were to get involved, you can donate, you can volunteer, you can partner with us if you're an organization, or you can sponsor, you can sponsor a project or any, other thing. We have like fellows, we have graduate students, lots of them, my students. So if you want to sponsor them, you can do that. Other than that, I want you guys to do one thing. Go to our website. You can do it today, or we are working on lots of. We call them basically calculators, right? We want to educate, right? That's our job. I'm a professor. Professor Anta is a professor. Our goal is to educate people. We don't want to scare people. You should not be afraid of AI, right? Or you should not be afraid of the world coming to an end because of emission. But you can be responsible, right? How do you become responsible? The more you know, the better it is, right? So that's what we want to do. So as part of that effort, we have these multiple calculators. At least this one is live for now. So I will send it to Ron, or you guys can Google and find us. So you can actually look at very, very basic things that we do every day, right? From this presentation to me speaking on the speaker and all these lights, all of these things, and you can actually see that as an individual, what is your emission. It's really cool, so I would encourage you guys to please do this thing, and then you'll be surprised. Each and every of us produces a lot of emissions. We don't even know that. So now the question is that, do we want to shame you because you're producing a lot of emissions? No, we want to educate you, and we will tell you how to reduce it, right? You can drive a car. It doesn't have to have gasoline. It can have electricity, right? So, all right, so with that, I will come to the end of my presentation, and then I'll take questions. And speaking of teacher, I have a class, so I'll have to go. Is my presentation here? Let's see. All right, so you guys can go and then look for 4288. You have the website open? No, right? Yeah, you don't have it open. So I just want to show a couple things, and then we can hand it over to the next speaker. I think it's on your.
So it's very easy to get to actually. So if you go here, ventures.
All right, so this is us. We are on ResearchNet. So like I said, you can partner with us. You can join if you want to partner with us. For example, you can be a founder. You can submit your idea. You can be an investor, right? You can be an enterprise. Again, if you want to partner with us, if you have your ideas, you want to run your innovations outside of your organization, we can help you with that. Like I said, ResearchNet is one of our partners. And then once you click on them, they will bring you to a form where you can submit all the information. And then once you submit it, we'll get it on Discord, and then we'll take a look at it. And then there was anything else here? That's all? Okay. Yeah, all right, okay. Let's see quickly our portfolio companies right here. So let's see. You guys can take a look at the website we have. Okay, we don't have them here right now, but we have listed a few other companies that we are working with. Like I said, we haven't launched it per se, so we are not going all out and then looking for companies. But if you have any idea that you want to submit, please submit it. Our team will review it, and then if we see any synergies, we can reach out to you. And you all can connect with me on LinkedIn. Just find me there, and then you can reach out to me. We can talk if you have to. Okay. So with that, I will open for any questions. If you have any questions, I can answer them.
I think there's a Vic is.
Okay, Bic, and then we come here. Yes, Bic. Okay. Mm-hmm. So your question is like about digital divide? Like people don't have access to artificial intelligence because it's expensive? That's your question?
Right, because AI in one
Okay.
hand is giving people a lot of ability to become founders, right?
Yeah.
Because they have access to tech, like LLMs that make it easy for them. But on the other hand, those who could afford a more powerful AI usually tends to win. And so the gap between the haves and have-nots are widening.
All right, so those who have deep pockets, they can use AI. Those who don't have money cannot use AI. That's where we can, raise, investments. We can help them. In order to answer your question, who is looking into it, companies like NVIDIA and other companies are actually looking for better and smarter machines and faster. And there are other companies who are looking for, cooling technologies. That's where we come in, that how you can actually, you can increase efficiency, you can reduce cost, and that creates more opportunities. So it is, I think, a multi-year process. It will happen eventually. Even right now, if you think AI is pretty cheap, if you send an API call, it's merely cents. It's not very expensive.
I mean, we'll talk about more.
We will.
For example, there's internet neutrality.
Yeah.
That allows everybody to pay the same cost everywhere.
Yeah.
And I was just wondering, do we have policies that are looking at something similar?
Yeah, so policies right now, that's very, very new area, and then every day there's a new policy coming up. That's the weaker area. Innovation is moving very fast, policy is not. So we are very slow there. Sure. All right, we have a question here.
There's people that want to connect with you.
Okay.
I'll have Ron send your contact
Yeah.
information to everybody on the list.
You can just Google Abid Ali, U Chicago, you'll find me. But yeah, Ron will send my profile too. So the second question is about 4288. Thank you. Thank you, Paul. All right, so the question is that will I be or will we be like a startup studio? We don't have any, I would say, design yet if we will be accelerator or an incubator. We haven't decided. For now, we are just looking for, let's say, good founders, and then we establish connections. We haven't thought of, right now we have access to University of Chicago and Northwestern. If we have a good founder, we can probably establish connections so they can use their resources. We don't have any plans of becoming Y Combinator, let's say. Yeah.
One of our panelists has a flight to catch, and we're half hour late.
All right, guys, we are already late. Why don't you just message me on LinkedIn? One of our guests have to leave. Thank you so much.
Thank you much. Good presentation. However, now we're going to do the panel on AI's effect on hiring, and my little speaker isn't working, but that's okay. Ron, do you have a?
This works. Here.
I don't need one as long as you have one. Hello? Can you hear me?
Hold the microphone close.
If I get any closer, it'll be in back of my head here. Okay. Okay. Sounds good. Sorry for delaying you, but we'll make it up to you with a great panel. We have 4 senior executives here with a moderator who is also a founder of her own company, all talking about the effect of AI on the hiring process. So take it away, Sally, and introduce the people.
Thank you, Paul. Paul, we need that microphone. Yep. Well, thank you, everybody. I'm excited to be in the company of these wonderfully exciting women. So our panel today is on how AI is affecting the hiring process and the employer-employee expectations. So very timely conversation. So organizations of every type have made significant investments in AI tools to enhance outcomes and efficiencies, whether within a core SaaS product or an HRIS system, or even internally developed product or application. It's exciting. I'm excited. Hope you guys are all excited. But how effective is your staff at keeping up with the adoption and integration of all these tools and their ever-changing capabilities? The demand for AI skills isn't limited to technical workers. AI is a general-purpose technology that's being integrated into all areas of the enterprise. I'm sure that's not news for anybody. Nearly a quarter of all American job postings require AI skills. According to Enterprise AI in a 2024 survey, they're requiring AI skills not just for technical, but for non-technical skills. But most executives say that their employees lack the foundational skills to effectively use AI in the workplace. The AI-enabled workforce changes not only the skill sets, but their jobs as well. Ernst & Young put out a report in 2025 for the Work Reimagined survey, and it identified a critical disconnect between AI adoption and human readiness. 88% of employees use AI at work. Sounds reasonable. But it's generally limited to basic applications, search, and summarizing. Only 5% are maximizing it for transformation. 37% worry about over-reliance, and 64% feel an increase in the workload. It's not helping them yet because they're still learning. And only 12% indicate they receive sufficient training. AITP had an AI SIG on Tuesday, and these stats came up, and I think I gave IBM the credit, but it was Ernst & Young. And we were talking about that disparity and what we're doing about it, so this is very timely. So how does this disparity in the workplace affect the hiring managers and the potential employees? I don't know the answer. But maybe these ladies do. So we've assembled our panel of experts from different perspectives. So our goal tonight is to try to give you a little roundtable on, what are the different aspects of AI roles? How have expectations changed for employers within the realm of AI? What are the educational challenges given AI's pervasiveness? And how has the recruiting hiring process changed? So to answer those questions, let's introduce the panel.
Did you introduce yourself?
I did.
You should. You're important.
I'm important. I'm Sally Smozinski, one of the Sally Squareds. And I think the other gentleman made a comment about a Sally, so I've never been in a room with 3 Sally mentions in a day. But anyway, I'm one of the owners of a company called Radiant Compliance, and we work on compliance, governance, risk, and compliance. We implement ISO standards and other regulatory security standards.
Excellent. Because you're the moderator. You're important.
Okay, thanks.
Everybody has to know who you are. I'm Nicole Beebe. I am the Dean of the College of Computing at Illinois Institute of Technology. I just came to the Chicago area this past July, so I guess I'm rounding out my last season experience, coming from Texas, where there's one season, hot. So I'm really enjoying my time in Chicago. Maybe not so much when the wind pushes me over, but otherwise I'm really enjoying it. I have a background in military, in industry, and academia. I'm a cybersecurity professor and professional by trade. But my I guess, applicability to the discussion of AI is not just in the context of my role as dean at the College of Computing, wherein AI lies, but it's also in my research. So ever since my dissertation a couple decades ago was using neural networks for doing security stuff. So I've always been very interested in AI and machine learning, so I'll probably answer some questions from both perspectives.
Hi, Shafali Mukincherry. I'm the Chief Information Security Officer and Chief Privacy Officer at the University of Illinois, Chicago. And we go through so many different versions of AI at the university, from the user using it to development, creating innovation, you name it. We do everything with AI, but hire. So I will bring some interesting stories to tell you about why we don't use AI to hire.
Hi, everyone. I'm Amy Sparling, and I lead the talent acquisition function at West Monroe. We are a global business and technology consulting firm based here in Chicago. I'm based here in Chicago. I am a technology recruiter by trade. I started my career on the agency side of recruiting for the first half and then transitioned over to the corporate side. For those of you that are in professional services, it's been a interesting last few years. I think an interesting last few years for all of us. But we saw a significant downturn, and my team did significantly shrink in size. So when we started to rebuild, we leaned in heavily to AI and automation and have seen tremendous results. So excited to talk with you all about that tonight.
Thanks.
Hi, I'm Sally Martin, and I'm with the AITP. I'm president. But in my free time, my professional time, I'm a co-founder of Talentfish, and what we do is find talent. So in addition to being on the agency side and recruiting, we also build AI tools for the industry. So have a lot of experience in the space and have seen it change dramatically over the past few years, and especially over the last year. So I'm excited to share our insights as well.
Excellent. So to get started, let's define who we're talking about, right? So Nicole, help us identify what are the roles in AI.
So I think, first of all, part of the problem is we haven't converged on a terms. Right? So I'm going to use a few different terms, and I think it's going to take a little bit for us to, as a society, to converge on whatever our terms of art are. But you've got generalists, you've got specialists, you got managers. I think part of the problem is we've kind of only focused on the specialists, the people who build AI, the builders, the people who are building the systems and the algorithms and the GPUs and the models. And that's obviously super important because that makes the stuff run. But we've kind of, in my opinion, ignored the generalists. And now that we're kind of beginning to talk about the generalists, meaning the people in X domain, whatever area, whatever job, whatever role you are in, how do you use AI to be more effective, more efficient? How do you use it responsibly? How do you use it to transform your organization? And then you have managers, and this is something that I think people are really starting to struggle with is the issue of managing people who use AI, managing human and AI teams and the collaboration thereof. I mean, it's just a whole new world. Then you go back to the generalist side of the house is now you've got, okay, well, what kind of generalist, what kind of user? There's a kind of a continuum between, and I've heard a couple of things mentioned thus far here where we talk about people who are scared of AI. So there's AI anxiety, and then there's AI awareness, that you know what this thing theoretically is, but you don't know much about it. And then you've got more AI fluency. So like, okay, I can get into Gemini and ChatGPT and Claude and, send some questions and start, having fun with it. But then you've got AI agility, where AI agility is now can I be a little bit more of a power user? Can I use AI to like really transform my organization? Can I automate my workflows? Can I bring AI with my skill set and my subject matter expertise in a transformative way? And then you've kind of got, AI Maestro or whatever. So there's all these different kinds of levels of expertise and ways you use it. And I think a little bit of part of the problem, and then one more thing I wanted to mention is if you haven't looked it up, look up the concept of Stanford's human AI agency scale. And it has 5 levels. And it talks about, from one side of the spectrum where a human is doing something completely on their own without any AI, and the other side, the 5th level is where AI is doing the whole thing. Well, there's parts in the middle, and this kind of gets back to the AI manager. Does the AI manager know which parts of which tasks need to be done in a fully human way, in a fully automated way, or with human intervention, and how can I as a manager monitor how if my employee is using AI at the right level? And so I think there's all these kinds of, the spectrum of the who is a lot wider than people think. Anybody else want to add to that?
I was just going to add, so, when we think about AI roles now, right, so we have to take it from the top down. And so sometimes I think of, like, if you've seen the ads for the chief AI officer, or a chief digital AI officer, like there's variations of a chief for AI, but what exactly does a chief AI officer do? Do they write the policy? Do they set the AI strategy? Do they help socialize, communicate what AI is coming to the organization? Right, so there's an evolution happening as far as what a chief AI officer does. And I'll tell you the reason I'm really interested in that, because a lot of times the cybersecurity chiefs, the CISOs, get stuck being that role, because we're in everything AI, got to do the security risk assessment on it, right? So I don't want that role. I've got enough being CISO and chief privacy officer. So when we think of different roles, the chief AI officer is one. But then when we think about from the university perspective, and that's the lens I'll share with you today, is we have prompt engineers, we have AI developers, right? Kind of breaking down the specialist, the generalist, and the manager roles based on that. And then we also have AI users. Can't forget about our users. They're actually a designation too, right? And so depends on what role, context, and what your purpose is, you're going to take on a certain role, right? Whether it's personal or professional. Anybody else?
All right. And it's just mind-boggling, right? I work in ISO 42001, which is the standard for AI, and there's a whole page on the type of roles. There's a producer, there's all these other roles, and it's just, how do you fit in? And sometimes the answer is yes to all. And so, Shefali, beyond the question I'm going to ask, just a general comment. So as the CISO and using AI, how you are expected to know everything, because it just sort of evolved and we needed somebody smart, and so you got the job. So what are your expectations now with your team? What are their baseline knowledge sets needed?
Yeah, great question. So we are seeing an evolution on the cybersecurity side as far as how we use AI. So, level 1 triage in a security operations center was, hey, you're the newbie, you're going to come in, you're going to learn about cybersecurity. But now AI can do that piece. They can go scan, they can go learn and figure out how to create a procedure. We can, go get different AI products to do that. So do I really need a level 1 triage, SOC analyst? Maybe I don't, but At the university I work at, we keep them all because I have a succession plan, a career enhancement plan for them, because the next level up is a SOC level 2, right, analyst. Well, you can't get SOC level 2 analysts for cheap. So, but where can I get them for cheap? If I train the SOC level 1, then I can get them and they become more efficient for me, and I save money on the budget so I can go use it, that dollar for maybe getting another level 1, right? So I keep that cycle going where I'm enriching the team, I am helping facilitate. So based on the triage level, yeah, we may not have that as a role in the beginning, but then it'll evolve to a level 2 SOC. And the level 2 SOC analyst then evolves to a level 3 SOC analyst, and so on down or up the chain. So based on that, we see a change in how we do cybersecurity monitoring. The second thing we see a change with AI is how we do security risk assessments. So the skill set of the cybersecurity analyst that was doing like GRC, for example, that's evolving too, because now when I look for a GRC analyst, I'm like, do you have any AI experience? Have you worked with any like privacy platforms that have AI built in there, or any kind of cybersecurity tools that have AI built in there? Do you use a SIM, right, a security event monitoring tool that has AI built into it too? So we're looking for people that have AI experience, not expertise, but experience. Like they know what it can do. So if you were to put somebody new, they knew that, oh yeah, you know what, this is AI doing this, so I can be trained to do it. The third area where we're looking at from a cybersecurity perspective is development. There's something called security by design, right? Not a lot of people use it these days, but we're getting there. We're going to go there whether we like it or not, because AI is going to force us into it. So when we just talked about, Ahmed and the presentation just before, right, digital emissions, security risk assessments are part of that entire new venture capital, new innovation process. And so at the university, we help our students create different types of products. We help them, we give them a strategic plan. We tell them, here's who you got to go market. But then my team will come in and go, hey, wait a second. Does your AI train on the data? What LLM are you using? Are you using multitude of different LLMs? And then can it go outside the code that you trained it to do, right? Will it traverse somewhere? And so we want to make sure that we are looking at it from a security lens, how AI is built into our own innovations.
Awesome. Anybody else? All right. So Amy, I got kind of a two-parter here. So do you hire, in your role as the recruiter, right, for your company, do you hire primarily for degree credentials, or are you shifting towards demonstratable AI skills and learning agility?
So our campus recruiting program does hire for degrees, but we have shifted away from hiring for degrees and hiring to skills on the experience side. So we're really leaning in and focusing on the skills that the individuals have.
So what are the expectations then that West Monroe has from new employees because of AI?
Yeah, leaning into a lot of what both of you said, you had a lot of really great points. It's all about, for the most part, it's AI fluency, right? So it's really focusing on finding the talent that knows how to leverage AI within their area of expertise. Of course, you still need those experts in AI to come in and do the technical work, but in general, when you're hiring across the organization, we're now looking for AI fluency in all of our roles. So how are you applying AI on a daily basis? Walk me through some of the ways you are enhancing the way you're working with AI. How are you leveraging it within your specific industry? And making sure they have a very adaptable mindset, making sure you're focusing your questions on their judgment and their ability to critically think is as important.
Okay.
Add anything to that?
No, that's great. Okay. And there's tools you can use to help you identify the fluency as well.
So my fellow Sally, how do recruiters ensure that the AI screeners don't eliminate qualified, unconventional candidates?
Great question. Yes. So, so throughout the AI process, right? So you're using tools, right, to screen. However, you're having human touch points throughout the entire cycle. And luckily now, the laws have been set up as such so that you do, so that you have to continue to have the touch points. So we have touch points throughout the cycle. So if we're using a tool, the questions are designed by a human, there's a human touch point. The folks that come in are met by humans, and then the folks that don't make it to the human touch point do have a next level of communication that's inviting them to come back and speak to us if they feel like they were rejected for some reason that we didn't see in the resume or that the AI didn't see. Yeah.
So are the initial, like if you have a job rec open and you get 50 or 500 applications, is the initial division of yes, no, maybe done by AI, or are humans still looking at all of those resumes coming in?
Yeah. So this has been used for quite a long time, right? So everything is prioritized, right? So the resumes will be prioritized based on skill sets. So what's on the resume matters, right? So you do need to have the right skill sets. So that will slim it down. And then the other questions as well, right? So if you're using the tool and you're putting in questions like location, where are you located, things like that, if it's on site. So it's a whole level of questioning.
And I will just add, we really started leaning in with the efficiency gains, right? So that was our focus at first, and really looking at how can we enhance pieces of the process that we don't need to touch, right? So whether it be setting up the interviews and leveraging automation for that, or leveraging AI to develop messaging and then set up sequencing to stay in touch with those candidates, and then really help us with synthesizing all of the information we gathered during the phone screens. Now we're using BrightHire for transcription so that we can be more engaged with the candidate on the screen. You're learning more, you understand more, you're using your judgment and critical thinking more to have a real dialogue with the candidate versus trying to multitask, take notes, gather everything they're saying. Candidates often prefer it. We're only seeing about 3% of candidates opt out of using that platform versus the traditional approach. Then we're doing a lot of what Sally's speaking to in terms of trying to lean into AI now with when you've got a huge slew of candidates for campus roles, right? Where there is so much of the same coming through. You've got to use that first pass at, do they meet the minimum requirements, right? But you do have to keep humans in the loop because there are those outliers that are the great hires most of the time, right? So making sure that you're really you're auditing the tool, you're making sure it's eliminating bias. AI is great at looking at patterns. Patterns can be the wrong patterns, right? So keeping the human in the loop to ensure that you've got those outliers or those more innovative candidates still coming through the process.
Excellent. So you had mentioned, hiring for specific skill sets, but how does an organization know what skill sets that we need, right? Because every day there's a new agent, right? We buy a new tool, somebody downloads something they're not supposed to. There's all these things. So what do organizations need to identify what their AI skills, what they need? Well, the first they have to do is identify what AI they're using. So an AI inventory, data inventory is critical. And, we do this in security all the time. But when you say for AI, you get the deer in headlights because it is prolific all over the organization. So how do you narrow it down? And how do you find that? So the shadow AI, just like shadow IT, I dream about those things. What do you have now as an organization? And if you know, what's forthcoming? This is an ongoing thing. So we have data scientists, we have policymakers, we need inventoriers. Is that a word? It is today. And then from there, you can do an AI skills gap. Because once you identify all the AI that you have, then you can identify the skills you currently have and what you don't have or what you think you're going to need in the future. Wouldn't that be great? So all that data can be used to focus on future hiring processes, as well as identify the need for upskilling and reskilling. So an IBM Skills Gap states that in the realm of upskilling, there are two fundamental concepts, upskilling and reskilling. Upskilling typically involves enhancing existing skill sets to make employees more proficient in their current roles or prepare them for the new ones. Sounds like, Shefali, you're doing that. But reskilling requires learning entirely new skills, often to adapt changing job demands. And in the IT industry, both upskilling and reskilling are common and valuable strategies. And my team's always trying to reskill me. It just doesn't work. So, open to the panel, what are your thoughts of staying on top of this deepening skills gap? And go ahead, I'll do generally there, and then we can, all right.
Is that on? Okay, I think one of the things that we're doing at Illinois Tech is we're creating more broad, not just in the College of Computing, like across the entire university, certificates in AI fluency, AI management, right, to make sure that people of any area without prereqs can get upskilled and reskilled in these areas. And it needs to start with a really broad exposure to different kinds of tools and platforms and learning which kinds of tools and which kinds of platforms are best for which kinds of tasks. And the reason I'm using those general vague words is because by the time they get done with the class, the next tool's out that we didn't have exist. Like this field is accelerating so fast that we as educators have got to start or stop thinking that the thing we teach is going to be the same thing that they'll do for, even dare I say, months ahead. And so you really have to teach them more at like at a class level, not at an individual characteristic level. And so, and like that first certificate I was talking about, we kind of go into overview of AI and ML and all the tools and all the capabilities and which ones you can use for creative this and versus a scientific task that. And then we get into collaborative mechanisms, using AI for collaboration with communication, using AI for collaboration with coding and with mathematics. And so it's really just a broad spectrum. And then you get into the AI management certificate and you talk about data literacy, because now you're going to dig a little deeper and need to make sure you understand the data, because garbage in, garbage out. You get into organizational transformation with AI, how to understand, and then you're getting into it's not just about the technology, it's about understanding the business, understanding the workflow, understanding requirements, and the technology begins to take I don't want to say a smaller part, because the technology is a really important part, but all the work that we humans are doing is actually kind of peripheral around the AI. And then we get into, AI ethics and responsible use and those types of things. And so I think the answer to the question is we have to provide that kind of an education that's open to all, which kind of gets back to your point about the digital divide. We have, I think in higher ed, as I kind of intimated before, made the mistake of shutting the door to AI if you weren't a computer scientist or super skilled in mathematics. And this isn't the way we need to go. I mean, there are pathways for those folks, for those who are going to be AI builders and such, but the rest of the world, this door needs to be wide open, and we need to make sure it's accessible to all.
I was just going to say that, with UIC, we have reskilling going on all the time. So what we do is we'll invite all the students. I might be allotted, hey, this fiscal year I can bring in 5 undergrad students and 10 graduate students, and they can come work within the security team or the privacy team. I also have identity access and management. I have that team as well. So I've got 3 different focuses. And so we are starting to use AI on the IAM side, because everything at UIC is old. But legacy old, but really good old, I'll just say, because it's all coding. It's all, someone one day decided, hey, I'm going to put this thing together, and it stayed. And then someone after them came and kept it alive. And then it just kept being left alive, and so we still have DB2, we still have Ralph 4, we still have all this technology that's still there. And it's still functioning to this day. But what I am looking to do is use AI to, maybe I can get rid of that DB2 server and maybe go to PostgreSQL instead, or Java, something more current, right? And so can I use AA or AI to write the code to translate everything from the old to the new, right? So we're kind of reskilling our IAM analysts, our IAM developers. So when I'm looking at, hey, you know what, do you know this Java programming? They'll say, well, no, I don't. We've got a computer science program. I'm like, hey, can you go take a couple courses and learn? And they'll go take the courses for free. I'll work it out with the dean over there, and they'll take the courses for free. And then they get reskilling because I may not have the budget to go send them to a major conference to go learn Java. But I do have resources within the university to send them to. It's on their own time that they would be learning the courses, right, if they really want to reskill, right? So we give some opportunities that way for the students. So I'll have a budget for 5 undergrad or 8 or 9 graduate students as well. And so we do a lot of reskilling if we can. Sometimes I get only one more student that gets approved from a budgetary perspective. So reskilling happens at the IAM level. But then also within cybersecurity, we have a security operations center 24/7. It's an outsourced company. My vision for the future is a student-led SOC, right? So I know I'm going to need AI to run that student-led SOC because students go home. Students are on vacation. They're on spring break. Well, who's going to run the SOC after that, in between that, right? And so, I might need AI. I might need something in between to keep this going. So looking for efficiency, innovation in a way.
A lot of that, not that, but a lot of what you were saying. But so we have a lot of focus on getting badges on different AI capabilities and then attending learning labs that are very focused on your specific area of expertise, whether you're a seller or you're a delivery leader, those labs are very focused. And then we've also created champion networks within each of the different teams. So even within the talent acquisition team, we have our own champions that are then teaching everyone else. So that's been really beneficial as well.
So in our ecosystem, it's a little bit different. So we have people who are building AI tools, and then we have recruiters and account managers who are leveraging the tools and helping the AI team build the tools. So we get to work all together.
Awesome. And I'm a small business, so I don't have all of that. And if there's any people in a small business here, for us, people look to me and my partner, well, what are we doing and how are we going to do it? So, that was really hard, and we had to bring in experts, and we had to make sure that we were building the tools internally, because as a compliance company, you probably need to be compliant to all those rules and all your client contracts, so we had to do all of that as well. So it's a challenge. So we had to reskill ourselves, but, from a process perspective, it's easy. But from a skills perspective, it's really hard. So just writing a policy on what you're supposed to do doesn't solve the problem. All right. Let's see. So building the capabilities of tomorrow's workforce isn't about chasing trend-driven tools or skills. Okay, maybe sometimes. It's about creating the behaviors and environment where humans can share and shine alongside the technology know-how. I'm very excited for our future, but also very terrified. So an organization's culture can greatly increase the success or failure of enterprise AI adoption. So, Sally, you've got tools that you're building. So what are the requirements? What is the input? What is the evolution of these tools that you're building that create that right culture, that keep the ethics involved, that keeps the, all of the things that need to encompass good use of AI, especially in recruiting?
That's a great question. So I think it happens on the build side, right? So we're constantly looking at what laws are being passed, what we expect, right? So we have to be compliant. So it's how we follow the compliance, right? And then think ahead, right? So we're like, okay, so here's what's going on. Here's just for example, if you think about the use of voice AI making phone calls. Have anybody noticed you're getting fewer phone calls? Fewer AI phone calls, right? Because legislation was passed, you can't do that. So that's how we do it, is just by staying in front of and understanding what the laws are and trying to be proactive.
Okay.
We are really leaning into the relationship with our legal team. So we have kind of our AI governing body and our kind of mission statement. Obviously, the rules of the road when it comes to how we're working with AI really, again, focused first on the efficiency hacks. And then we've started to lean into the candidate component, but not the candidate selection or assessment piece. So we're keeping that off the table. But we are really making sure we're focused on the audit component and the opt-out functionality. The other piece that's been critical is teaching the recruiters how to use it effectively and responsibly, because you'll get people going rogue, and you can't have that, right?
Well, I'll wait.
It's AI doing this.
Right. We still have about 25 minutes, so we're good. We're moving fast.
Okay, it's time to go home.
Hello? Okay, we're back. Nope. Oh, yeah, okay. So we're talking about reskilling, upskilling, all that. So how do you carve out time in your organization for learning versus expecting people to learn on their own? Now, Shefali, we know that you're doing, in your department, doing an incredible offering. But what about everybody else? I mean, how do you bake getting your team upskilled or reskilled and still get their jobs done?
So I'm gonna speak from the faculty side, not the student side. We are doing some things formally and informally. On the formal side, we just finished a 7-week series for faculty, and nothing with faculty is mandatory, unfortunately. But we're like cats, and trying to herd cats. I didn't see enough smiles there. And so we have every week a different topic to teach faculty about the use of AI, how to get smarter on the tools, how to integrate in your classroom, how to transform your pedagogy, how to instill ethics with the students, how to use it properly too. Like, do you want them grading everything, AI to be grading everything you do and not have a human in the loop? No. You know, those kinds of things. So we're doing that kind of formal training. But then we're also trying to create like brown bag kind of environments and lunches, so that people come in and they just share their stories and share their excitement. And when I hear Shefali say, hey, I use AI to do this, and I go, oh, I need some of that, you know, and then I get inspired and I do it as well. And then last, we're really trying to work on helping faculty understand, this is where I usually get some boos from other faculty in the audience, that we need to stop thinking of faculty as being teachers. And I'm like, what? They go, what? I thought that's what you were like born and you wanted to do your whole life. Like, yeah. But the thing is, it's different. The thing about being a teacher is the mentality is that the student only learns what I teach them. And so their knowledge is limited to what I impart on them in the classroom. Well, AI is accelerating everything. I need to begin to use AI to curate a learning experience for the students, so that the students are using AI to accelerate their learning. And when you take the chains off, but put appropriate guardrails of students with AI, they begin to use AI and get so excited about how much they can learn, how fast they can learn it, that they learn more and that they do so more responsibly. But that's a cultural change with faculty, so that's another thing that we're working on changing with them.
As much as we can, we're building it into an expectation versus an option, right? So we're incorporating it into all of our interviews. We're making sure that we are assessing AI fluency, but that means we have to practice what we preach as well. So the interviewers have to be prepared to share examples of how they're using AI, which just puts that personal sense of responsibility into the mix. The AI champions are super helpful. They're meeting every week. They're sharing hacks, tips, and tricks with each other, and then we're making sure those are getting out to the broader team. and we're getting everyone together for an AI lab so that we can all kind of work together to create prompts using the folks in the room that may not be as comfortable to guide with the help of those that are already more advanced, so that it's just kind of creating that culture within the firm and the team.
You want to answer it too? Okay. Okay. So these are all very positive things, but what's the reality of all this? What's worked and what hasn't worked in getting people to adopt AI? Because it's our responsibility to give them that opportunity, but what if they don't want to, right? Or they don't want to do what you're telling them to do? What are some of the pitfalls?
Yeah, so at the university, we have faculty that love AI and they allow their students to use AI, and then we have other faculty that are AI adverse. They don't want to use AI, they don't want their students using AI, so we have a mix of both. And we leave it to the autonomy of the professor or the faculty member to choose what they want to have their students do. So it varies, but I will tell you this, though, from a hiring perspective, the things that are not working well with AI is the resumes that are coming through are way too perfect. They're perfect. And they can also not be real people, yes. But the red flag is if it's too perfect, I don't even look at it anymore, because I know AI was used. Back in the old days, you put your resume together and you walked into an office and you handed someone a piece of paper and that was your resume. I'll just tell you this, I had a young developer come into my office. We're hiring for an IAM developer position. And she was so serious about this position, she actually flew from New York to come for this position. And we had done so many interviews using like Spark Hire. We had even like Zoom sessions and team sessions for different AI developers. And we've had situations where the person that was in the Zoom that actually showed up was not the person that we were talking with. So I had this young IAM developer fly. I said, it's on your own dime if you want to come. She came, and you know what I was so impressed by? She was scared, and 21-year-old, 22-year-old comes, and she's like handing me her resume like this. Hi, I'm Monica. That is how she was approaching me. But the fact that she gave me a paper resume, I was thrilled. I was like, you're taking me way back in the time, right? But the authenticity of it is what you may not get with AI, right? It's great, it can make your resumes look perfect, but too perfect is a flaw, because some people may like it perfect, and it'll pass all the resume readers, OCRs, right? It'll get you past that. But we also have, like, when we work with agencies to hire people, the agencies give us perfect people to interview also. So when you're interviewing them through Zoom or Teams or whatever your conference tool is, the person is perfect also. So now what we rely on is having people come in person to do the interview. So it's almost like, wait, did we just go backwards? Like, right? Because how do you trust AI? And I think that's the answer that we have to find.
Agree.
Sally and I were talking about this before the session, and even I would think 6 years ago I was at a conference and somebody gave this story where who they interviewed wasn't the person who showed up, and I had never heard that before. So we were using that in all of our consulting, and this is that and this is that, you better look out, and that doesn't happen. And it's
Two
just
people
so
this
common.
week. 2 people this week, yeah.
Yeah.
So we have very strict rules, right? Everybody has to be video interviewed with a live human. Everyone has to share their ID. And even then, no headphones, right? And we're very clear. We have it in writing, and we remind everybody verbally that the representative that interviewed you will show up on the interview with the client, just to make sure that everything's okay. I've had people show up that were the wrong people, and so you have to stop the interview. And we've even had extreme cases where people are using somehow still able to use AI in the interview even without headsets. So I've had people remove their headsets during the interview, but they were still able to continue to talk to the interviewer. It's wild, yeah.
Are you
So
doing like that?
Yeah.
Real human, wave your hand in front?
everything, it's exhausting. Yeah.
And this
So,
is just
yes.
the tip of the,
Yeah.
ethical issues that AI is going to have.
Right.
It's making recruiting great. It's making finding people and skilling people that we couldn't do before in a more rapid way.
Right.
I think I just saw something. Yes.
Okay, go.
Oh.
I was just going to comment on what you were saying. I'm in the recruiting business too, and I don't work at the executive.
Couple more questions and then go for the audience.
Making our job even that much harder because if we ping them on something, they're like, I don't know who's fake, I don't know who's a bot.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Yeah.
Networking is key.
Face to face.
Yes.
Yeah, yep.
Your network, your trusted networks, referral networks, employee referrals.
Yes, get out and,
Always hire somebody knows, right?
yes. Yes, yeah.
And it was just today or the other day, somebody had mentioned that if you wanted to try to identify if you're talking to AI, is ask them to turn their head or to bend, just to look down, because if, how you have the fake backgrounds, because then they'll fade out. So there's certain actions you can have them do with their head or their hands that would help identify if it's not a human.
Apparently, if you ask them the weather in whatever city they're at, that really throws off AI too. I don't know if that still works or if that's old now. That's maybe 2 weeks old, so.
Okay, write these down.
So to your point, we do ask like silly questions like, what's your favorite color and why? Or what's your grandmother's name? What's your favorite type of dog and why, right? Like personal questions that if you were to plug it into AI, it may come back and go, well, I don't know what you mean. I don't know you. I can't talk about identity. Like AI has its limits as to what it will give you back as far as identity. So it depends on which one you're using though. But we do ask like these different types of questions when we see people, because we've had situations where the answer is perfect. Even though you're looking at a real life person, they will give you the perfect answer because it's a full sentence. And it's like as if it's a written sentence, and they talk like a written sentence versus the natural language, right? Like a human will put in fillers and the. AI doesn't put that in. It's perfect English. It's already spell checked for you, right?
Yeah. Okay, so as we kind of wrap into the final takeaways, building the capabilities of tomorrow's workforce isn't about chasing trend-driven tools or skills, because we've done that before and we're still trying to catch up, right? It's about creating the behaviors and the environment where human skills can shine alongside the technical know-how. And I think we've made that pretty clear tonight. So an organization's culture, brought that up, can greatly increase the success or failure of enterprise AI adoption. So employers, employees, recruiting, skills, final takeaways before we get some questions from the audience?
I would say we just need to continue to focus. I've heard critical thinking mentioned a couple times this evening, and we need to kind of focus on that kind of that last mile. What do I mean? Like the last 5% of the whatever the question was, whatever the consultation task was, whatever. It's yes, AI can do a lot of the front end things, but the human value and the value chain needs to be the focus. And we all, in recruiting and in education and our organizations, need to begin to really think about what that last mile or last 5% is, and make sure we put into policy, put into upskilling and reskilling, putting into what we value, putting into what our individual selves are focusing on, is saying, what do I bring to the table? After the AI part does its thing, what am I bringing additionally? I think it's really important.
Yeah, and just to add, I think it's that trust but verify, right? Use AI as you need to, but make sure you're using it ethically, you're not causing harm, and that, it can be advantageous for you as well, but trust but verify.
Yeah, use the AI for what it's best at, making your repeatable tasks easier so you can focus on the highest value things, the human judgment, the negotiating, the selling, the nuance, navigating an ambiguous situation, finding those candidates that are the outliers. So if everyone stays in their lane, AI and humans can work very well together.
Yeah, definitely use AI for sure. Trust but verify, and continue the face-to-face. I do feel like it is forcing us to spend more time together, which is nice. So hopefully that'll continue.
Thank you very much. Do we have any questions? Yes.
Curious, for the ladies that are at the
Hang on. This is where I have to move.
Thank you. I'm curious for the ladies that are in education. You mentioned critical thinking. How do you guys get your students to think critically instead of only relying on just the information that AI is giving you and the psychology behind it? Because I'm seeing that AI tends to agree with what you're saying versus maybe some honest truth. But then at the AITP meeting that Sally mentioned, one gentleman said, you're not writing the prompts properly if it's agreeable.
I think this is a little bit of a pedagogy answer. Like, you have to begin to change the way you teach. You have to have more project-based learning with a lot more milestones, right? A lot more reflection, a lot more human interaction with, no, tell me what you thought about that and why. Face-to-face, classroom discussions. Like you had said, it's bringing us back together. To do this stuff and to do it right, we kind of have to be in the classroom to do it, or at least together virtually, although you guys have made me scared about the deep fakes effectively. But I think that's what it is. It's like, you know, we've always been like, here's the problem, what's the answer? Gone. We've been, okay, here's a project, here's the beginning, big black box, I'm just going to look at the output. We have to be much more process focused now, much more reflection, discussion, interaction, and really probe the what do you think about that kind of question. Is that?
Yeah, and I would just add, you said psychology. Psychology plays a lot of games, basically, I will say, with how you use AI. And so from an educational perspective, you know, we will allow our students, we have a sandboxed environment called Flames GPT. So we ask all our students, you know, you want to go experiment, go in that sandbox, go experiment, create your product, whatever you want to do. But there is also this, they get scared. They're like, well, I don't know what I'm doing with it. And so there's something called nudge theory. And so we'll use the nudge, like, hey, just go try it, see what happens. Here, we'll give you a buddy and you can learn with them, right? So the psychology, AI can be very scary for people because either you're technically savvy and you're gonna go do it, or you're the new person and you don't know anything about AI and you're like, well, you know, I've seen too many movies, right? And so, you know, the killer robot's gonna come after me, right? And so just depends on how familiar they are with AI. So education, I think, is number one to help pacify the folks that are skeptical about AI. And again, it's like a personal or professional view that people will bring to what they do with AI. Because at home, you might be the one that's always going and, you know, putting in prompts saying, write this research paper for me. Or, hey, you know what, I need to look up, you know, tell me, go through all my files and tell me, where did I last save this document on AI? So personal use you might use it for, but professionally, as a student, you know, students is a profession, by the way, right? So students are also held to the same accountability and responsibility when they use AI in their role as a student, as a faculty member, right? So whatever profession you're in. So the nudge theory basically says that, you know what, I'm gonna just learn a little bit about AI today, and then I'm gonna walk away. Then the next day, I'm gonna take what I learned today, and I'm going to try the next step and do another prompt and see if I like what it returns. But be careful what it returns, right? Because if you don't ask the right prompt, the right question, it'll give you garbage, right? So just have to be careful. The other part of psychology about AI is something called feed forward. Feed forward. Like, we're always giving feedback to each other, but there's something else called feed forward. So AI is a mechanism for feed forward, meaning if I use AI today, how will it help me tomorrow? Versus, I'm using AI today, oh my God, it's gonna tell me something I don't like, right? So taking the positive out of the negative is a way to use AI. There's a lot of psychology here.
Hi, I have a question. I've always tell the executives that if you're gonna have AI and human together, it's gonna change your operating models and cadence, period. And so I'm kind of curious from where you're sitting, how has AI changed when we have introduced human plus AI together in terms of the job roles, descriptions, and career advancements, right? Because traditionally it's very different, but now with AI it's constantly changing. So I'm going to use my favorite, which is software engineering. I have a software engineering background. And at first I didn't believe it because I've done enough code generation in my past life to know that AI-generated code is, well, computer-generated code is not as good as human. Until I heard lately that it's very good, so I tried to look into vibe coding myself just to see. It turns out fantastic result, everybody. I was blown away until I look at the source code itself, and I still can read code, even though it's been a long time. And I have to tell you right now, it is so brittle and so badly designed and written that it would break at the first sign of change. So, so all you who are software engineers out there, you're safe, really, trust me. As long as you're not just some monkey just doing some, plug and play, you're safe. So I'm just kind of curious as to what do you see out there that has changed?
I think we're still so early in the journey, so really learning as we go. But when I think about the role of the recruiter, we've really shifted to focus heavily on the critical thinking skills, right? We're looking at those behavioral skills. We're looking at how they're managing stakeholders, how they're advising, how they're navigating nuanced situations. We used to ask people a lot of questions around their sourcing expertise. Now it's, how are you leveraging AI to get in front of the best talent? What are you doing with AI, right? So it's shifting the focus to fluency and then judgment. But there's still so much early progress to be made there. I don't know if anyone.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we're still like infancy, right? Like, wow, it's doing a great job and you can do so much more, but we're still trying to figure out what we don't know yet. And I guess I'm just waiting for companies and everyone to kind of get on board and make sure that we're continuing to get developers into our businesses, into the market, because you're going to be needed more and more as this continues.
I think the only other shift that I would note from a hiring perspective is we're not going to hire our way out of the AI problem, and we need to continue to upskill our people and hire for adjacent skills. So it's not just looking for AI technology skills, but it's looking for data engineers, it's looking for automation engineers, it's looking for people with digital expertise that are really strong in those different capabilities that could lend them to being strong with AI as well.
Hi, yeah, this is a question for any of you guys. Have any of you guys noticed any sort of emergent patterns of who might be more open to adoption of AI? So some examples might be like someone more technical versus non-technical, someone younger versus older, higher on the hierarchy versus lower on the hierarchy. It's just a couple examples.
In my experience, it's really more about early adopters. There's an adoption curve, and there's people with different personalities that tend to be early adopters or late adopters. And if you tended to be an early adopter with other kinds of technologies, you'll be an early adopter with AI. If you tended to be one of the more conservative ones, you'll come to it a little bit later out of fear. And there's really in the IT adoption space, there's really not a correlation between any kind of age, a little bit, but not as much as you would think. It's really more of a personality thing and personality characteristics.
Regards to all the beautiful ladies in the panel. Yeah, so I'm a student from IIT, so I'd like to say hi to my dean.
It's like, where's that voice coming from?
Yeah, but like as we were talking that we are at a standoff, a sort of deadlock situation in which we have AI-powered resumes and AI-powered checkers. So like, as a student myself who is trying to tap into the job market right now, so what do you think is the gold standard for the person to prove to the recruiter or the hiring manager that they are the gold standard to get into the market?
I'm going to hand this to the recruiters, but I want the microphone back.
I was talking to Colleen about this earlier. I think, gosh, it's so hard right now. I give everyone who's on the job market props for navigating the situation with bots competing for your jobs. But I think my advice is to make yourself stand out is to immediately find out who owns that rec and reach out to them directly. Reach out to the hiring manager directly. Be creative in your outreach. Don't make it generic and too perfect. Make sure there's some spelling errors in there, maybe a smiley face, but anything you can do to differentiate yourself.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Find out who is hiring and reach out directly. That's how you set yourself apart. Like even find out if they're going to an event. Go to the event and introduce yourself. That's kind of what it takes. Invite them, yeah. Invite them out for lunch, right? Tell them you're going to be around. And then I think one thing as well for like kind of identifying people who are going to be good with AI are people who are just in general creative. So anything that you can do to demonstrate your creativity or even work hard to train creativity, because you can train creativity, do that as much as possible and share that.
So this is my shameless plug moment. Have you heard of Talon? Yes. Okay, have you used it? Okay, see? Okay, so I have to leave pretty quick after this for a flight, so I'm not going to be able to stick around, but talk to him. Talent is a new capability that we're developing at Illinois Tech. It will make some HR people and recruiter people probably nervous, I imagine. But it's a mechanism for leveraging AI to no longer necessarily have a rec, no longer necessarily have a resume to apply for a job rec. And you have an employer who wants to hire Illinois Tech students because they're amazing, period. And so instead of having a rec and a resume and a triage and yada, 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 they basically just use the students register for Talent, the employers register for Talent, and then the student uploads documents and data. And by the way, we're trying to expand it further, so it actually kind of links into degree works and what classes you took and the syllabi, so you know what topics were covered. And your LinkedIn profile and all that good stuff. And then the employer can basically have a conversation with Talent to say, I'm looking for a person who can do da-da-da-da-da. And the system responds with da-da-da-da-da. And then you go, okay, well, what about this? And, you know, just like a conversation and a query to find the right person. Because I'll be honest, what employers tell us that our wonderful students, that they get slammed with lunch offers. Like 500. Like everybody reached out. What do I do? And that's kind of a problem. Yes, yeah, if they upload, yeah. Nobody wants it.
All right, well, I'd like to thank our lovely panel. You did an awesome job. I learned a lot. Thank you. So one of my other hats, before I let everybody go, I am on the board of AITP as well. We've got your chairman, we've got your president, great esteemed people. And there is an amazing program that we have called the, what is it called?
Most effective. The Most Effective Technology Team Award. We've been doing it for about 10 or 15 years. Several people here are judges on it. But what it is, you know, everybody gives credit to the CIOs and the CISOs, but no one rewards the teams that make them successful. So each year we have companies submit nominations. We have 15 nominations this year. They're working on their applications now. And then we have a judging panel that will judge them, and eventually we'll have an awards dinner. And we are looking for additional sponsors for the awards dinner. If you become a sponsor, you get noted on our website, in our weekly newsletters, and you get to take 3 of your staff to the awards dinner and sit at dinner with 3 of the teams. So it's really good, it's inexpensive, it's like $2,000 or something like that. So if you are interested, just go out to the AITP Chicago website or contact Sally or me or Sally, or if we have a third Sally, we can have her. I was hoping that I knew how to do the robot coming up here, but I don't. But once again, give everybody a round of applause, and we'll go from there.
Oh, yeah, with SIM.
What?
SIM. With SIM. They're partners.
Yeah, we're partnered with SIM and with the Pan Asian American Business Council on the Team Awards. Yep.
All right, thank you, everybody.
Yeah, I just, that's why.
Hello, guys. Can you still hear me? Okay. So we have two more sessions. Like I always say, we have a packed program. We have two startups. Where's Loka? Hey, Loka. Yeah. So if you guys can settle down, we have two more startup presentations, and then we'll be done for the night, or maybe not, depending upon what you. Has a very relevant. He has a very relevant application that he's been working on called Ogha, which actually helps in the recruiting process, out of all things. So right after the recruiting discussions, we should look at his application. Okay, Loka?
Hello. By the way, if you could please sit down, there are a couple more presentations coming up. And before you leave, take any pop or pizza that's left with you.
So I just use it to connect my students to my network. So I tell them, if you're connected to me, you can see all of my connections for research. Network with them. Yeah. But it's so hard to grow. I'm sorry about this. Thank you so much. Is your company in Chicago area? Oh, okay. What's the website again? I was just opened up about 1 million tabs. Their website. I'm just opening up links and talking about which one is it? Lightning? No. This one? Oh, okay. I'll send you a message. Okay. Okay. Oh, from earlier, the very early talk with Sean the Tiger. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. So I knew you would find it because it's a good decision because this is good. I haven't tried it yet. We're wrapping up now. So now this launch is done. Ron and I have got along with yeah. To get into production and we're starting to get like those first customers and customers. We've got grind. It is. It takes time. Are you waiting on them? Are you waiting on them? You should start, tell them.
Everyone is in the mood of networking, so I don't want to disturb it.
No, you have to disturb them, otherwise they will.
I think Ron tried to get them back.
Go and tell Ron that you're ready, because otherwise people. It's not easy, right? Yeah. How's Sharon doing? She's good. Is she on spring break? Or done? Oh.
Lucas, wait.
Really like to.
Hey, guys.
He enjoys it.
Yes. It will be. It is. Huh? Yeah. David, for a long time.
I will send you a LinkedIn message.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
And we never formally met.
Sally.
I know. I send you a message on LinkedIn.
Oh, okay. I was at one of your sessions. Where were we? There was only like 6 of us in the room. You covered you had trouble connecting to the live feed. We were in somebody's office.
Oh, was it the one when professor from University of Chicago was presenting?
Yes.
What's his name?
What's your last name?
I always forget names. That's a big problem.
That's good. That's good.
I can see his face. I can. Okay. Hey, I think Loka's ready. Let's
Hello?
and then let's
Hello.
Guys, we have another great presentation on how to deal with the recruitment problem, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, here's Loka.
Hello all. First of all, I want to say thanks to Ron and AITP team to giving me this opportunity to present our platform here. And hello everyone, my name is Loka. I'm the founder of face-to-face tech interview platform called Oga. So,
You're not sharing on Zoom, by the way.
oh, I'm not sharing the Zoom. All-
Can you make it full screen?
Oh, sorry. What? Yeah. So today I want to discuss about something very simple. Can we still trust interviews in the age of AI? AI is changing everything, even the interviews. From what I have seen and heard from recruiters, that at least 60 to 70% of job seekers are using some sort of AIs during their interviews. So now there is a shift in reality, right? Good answers are no longer means the real skill. Someone can give the perfect answer and still not truly understand what they are speaking or what they are doing. So now we have a problem. It is getting harder to tell who knows the work and who is being assisted. Proxy interviews are happening, AI answers are happening. And this creates a very, very big impact. I have spoken to teams or the startup companies where they had to interview at least 100 people to have one strong hire. Think about that. That's wasting a lot of high-valued engineers' time, right? And also, even that one single strong hire, they don't know whether he is the right person to do the right job until he comes to the on-site to do that work. The root cause. The root cause is very simple. Remote interviews have no control. We don't know what's happening behind, who is helping, and what is actually happening behind the interview screen. So, what is really broken? The early hiring signal is broken. Wrong candidates are moving forward, and real filtering is happening way too late. And in most of the cases, the candidate who deserve the opportunities are losing their opportunity to do that particular job. So this is where, to solve this problem, we started this platform. So we are going to fix, so I thought of what if I can fix this problem way earlier. Oga is a platform where we conduct face-to-face technical interviews before a candidate reaches to the client or the actual company, before their internal round of hiring. So how it works? The process is very, very simple. You give us shortlisted candidates. We match them with
the nearby tech interviewers. Our interviewer and the job seeker will meet in a public location, such as co-working spaces, public libraries, and coffee shops, and they will conduct the real interview. So the output. After that, our platform interviewer will give the detailed feedback, clear recommendation, and also the video recording. So yeah, I said that it delivered in 1 hour, but our interviewer will give the detailed feedback instantly. So I want to share a real story that happened on our platform just last Monday. One of our interviewer asked a candidate a simple coding question. The candidate said he couldn't solve it, even with the help of AI. The interviewer asked, "That's okay. You don't have to write the code. Just show me your thinking ability, or write a just simple pseudocode." The candidate said he needs to go to bathroom, and he never came back. Right? So this tells us something very, very important. In real person, in-person setting, it is very hard to fake the skills. You can't disappear. We can't rely on someone or something else. We have to depend on our own thinking. So I asked the feedback from the employer who set up the interview on our platform. And I asked him, did this interview help you in better assisting the candidate? They said, yes, the results of this interview are quite interesting, because the candidate left within the second question in our platform, and everything is recorded, and the employer is really shocked. So why it works? The reason it works is very simple. It removes proxy interviews. It removes AI misuse, and it shows how the real person actually thinks. The impact is, so the companies can have the less wasted interviews, and less time spent by senior interviewers interviewing the wrong candidate, and more candidates, and the companies can take the right decisions in hiring the candidates. And from the job seeker's perspective, the real candidates will move forward in the right direction. Yeah, AI is not going away. In fact, it will become 100%, right? And that's okay. But verification becomes more and more important than ever. So, yeah, I will leave you with this. AI is powerful, but hiring needs trust. But if you won't fix this one, the whole system becomes very, very noisy, and I want to help the companies in making their better decisions in their hiring. Yeah. That's all I wanted to discuss here. Yeah. Any questions? Oh, it doesn't have any meaning. It has meaning. It's a flow of water or flow of stream. So I want to name my company as OG. It sounded cool, but yeah, it doesn't have the real meaning. So okay, I searched in Sanskrit is there any name that starts with OG? So it given me Oga. So yeah, that's how it started. But yeah, OG hiring assistant, I can say that. Yeah.
What does Oga mean in Sanskrit?
Flow of stream, flow of water.
Like a river or
yeah.
a waterfall?
Yeah, flow of stream. Yeah.
Talking about the name, right? So I was searching for Oga on your website, right? And because I lost the link that you sent me. So, and I found out there's tons of things that are called Oga.
Yeah.
And I was surprised actually, because this is a very uncommon name.
Yeah, it's very uncommon name, but
it actually has a lot of different types of applications and companies and all kinds of things.
yeah, some Ottawa Girls Hockey
Yeah,
Association or
even
something like that. Yeah.
Abbreviation becomes Oga.
Right. Yeah.
So I have a question. So how long did
So actually, I got this idea to build this platform back in 2023, but I did little research, spoken to a lot of hiring managers back in my company as well. So we started actual development of our platform in mid 2024, and we are live on 2025. And last Monday is our first business, and our employer is our client is very satisfied with the output. Yeah.
And are you based in Chicago?
Yes, we are based in Chicago, but we have interviewers almost in every major city in central and eastern regions. Around our platform has around 160 tech interviewers in coding languages, mostly Python, Java, Node.js. Currently, I'm concentrating only in the US, mostly in the eastern and western regions. Central and eastern regions. Once I'm successful, once I got enough traction here, then we may spread to West and then to India as well. Yeah, slowly we are planning to build this. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Solves the AI faking stuff, right?
What's that?
That solves the AI faking stuff. Now it's real human beings.
I'm so excited about this. Yeah, like I haven't signed up on your platform because I knew you would be speaking, so
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, maybe then we can talk. I would. I'm happy to help. Yeah.
Are you guys keeping any sort of analytics, like as far as keeping any of that data?
We don't have. We are not keeping that kind of. We are relying on any third-party service or something like that. We are not keeping any kind of data. Any kind of data we are keeping on our platform is the recorded interviews. What kind of questions our interviewers are asking the job seekers and how they are answering back to the interviewer, so that our end goal is to process the video and provide a good study materials to the job seekers. So every job post on our platform will come up with a study material we process through the video recordings on our platform. Yeah.
So it's done in an automated way?
Yes.
The
Yeah.
recordings?
Yeah. So your question is, are we providing any assistance to the interviewers?
No, are your customers asking you to have your interviewers ask specific
Yes.
questions?
Yeah. Employers or the recruiters who post a interview request on our platform, they can provide if they want to concentrate on certain kind of questions or certain kind of topics, so that our interviews will cover that topics as well. But most of the time, so until now, the companies who are using our platform doesn't have the technology background. So our interviewers are choosing the type of questions they want to ask based on the job seeker resume. Yes. So our interviewers is not going to start the interview unless they check the candidate ID.
What if the candidate refused to get recording done?
He can leave.
There won't be any interview.
There won't be any.
So it won't work on the platform.
We can do the interview, but if only recruiter wants the recorded interview, because candidate will definitely know before signing up onto our platform that be recorded. Okay. And that video recording is not going to save anywhere in locally. It's going to save in AWS cloud, and the video recording is directly shared with the recruiter.
And then you delete it, like it's deleted after?
No, it's not going to get deleted. It will stay for 3 months.
Okay.
Or if we get any request from recruiter or job seeker, then we are able to delete that one. We can delete the video.
Do you think the biggest applicable use case is entry-level technical jobs? Because at more experienced levels, you're kind of depending on referrals and LinkedIn profiles, etc., right? So how do you anticipate managing that?
Yeah, so currently the problem I'm solving is, so for example, take a real scenario in my case. So back in 2023, I applied to a job in Texas, and they asked me to come to face-to-face interview in the next day itself. And when I'm looking for a flight tickets, the flight tickets are reaching around $1,200, and hotel rates are around $200 and car and everything will be piling up for around $1,600, right? So I can help these kind of people as well, so that they don't need to travel other states for a short interview. They can do the face-to-face interview in their preferred location of their favorite locations like coffee shops.
What's the business model? Who compensates your platform?
The recruiters or the companies, whoever post an interview request on our platform is going to compensate us, but majority of the amount will go to the interviewers. Yeah.
Interviewers that are signing up on your platform. So is it for the candidates?
Yes. No, it's just so one of our main requirement to our interviewer is to carry his or her laptop to the interview location, so that they can conduct the interview, because there is certain process that has to happen through the application. So our interviewer is going to record the video through his laptop video. Yeah, because there are two use cases. Ours is the new platform, so every recruiter wants to see how it is working, whether if it is legit or something like that. So we want to accommodate that doubt, and as well as the recruiters can share about the candidate skills and everything to their hiring man, because recruiter is not the person who is going to hire, right? The hiring manager or the technical manager. So that video link can be shared directly to them, so that they can check the video as well.
But you're recording only the recruiters side of the video.
No, the recruiter point of view.
What I meant is, like let's say the coffee shop, the interview is happening between the candidate and the interviewer, both.
Right.
Whose side is getting recorded? Or?
Job seeker side. Job seeker side, yeah. Yeah.
That the customers are only companies, or the candidates who want to be hired is also your point of view?
Yeah, that's a good question. So actually, right now, I'm accommodating only the companies. I have a vision that students or anyone can use our platform to set up their own interviews with our tech interviewers on our platform, so that they can submit those recordings or the interviews to companies as well as the certifications, as the live certifications. So yeah, I'm planning to do that as well. Yeah. So any recent graduates can schedule a face-to-face interview with any tech interviewer on our platform, and they can carry out the interview so that they can submit for the job applications. Yeah, they can move. They will be ahead than the regular resumes. Yeah. Thank you. Any more questions? Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. I think we have another presenter. Ulysses, want to come over? One more. One more to go. Well, I can talk after that if you guys are interested.
Oh my gosh. Ron loves to talk.
Well, if there's a listener, I can.
I know.
Oh, okay.
We had it in before.
Wait a minute. This should work, right? Try this.
Yes. Hey, I sent you the Zoom link, Ulysses.
You did?
On WhatsApp.
I'm on my laptop.
You got the email? Okay.
Wait. That worked? That worked. You sent it on WhatsApp or?
WhatsApp.
No, can you text it to me?
Text is better? Okay.
Yes, or email, either works. I promise I won't keep you guys too long. Ron always likes to put me at the end so I can wake people up who are sleeping. I got to time myself. All right.
Okay. I should just mute myself, right?
Yes.
All right. I am on, I think. I'm on?
You're not sharing on Zoom, though. No, I don't.
Oh, I got to share on Zoom.
Yeah, you're on Zoom, but not sharing.
Window. Perfect. Works. Hi, everyone. My name is Ulysses David. I'm the founder and CEO of a company called StarPlot. I'm based in Northwest Indiana. For those who are not from here, I'm based in Chicago, right? So what is StarPlot? I'm going to be putting through, if this works. Okay. I'm hoping.
Lost everything, actually.
You lost everything?
Yeah, Zoom as well as this one.
This is not what StarPlot does. All right. Let's see. Okay, is it on Zoom? And then how do I mirror this thing?
I think you have to choose mirror or something for the link.
Extended HDMI, choose content. Okay. That worked?
Yes,
I've been in tech for a couple of decades now. I should know how to figure this out. So that was like just a few seconds. So again, hopefully this works. There you go. Now, this is embarrassing. Oh, there we go. Okay. So that's a cool statistic. So global business-to-business commerce is around $32 trillion currently, expected to hit over $50 trillion by 2030. And so 50% of all these transactions flows through partners. Now, you might look at me and say, what does partners mean in this sense? So you want to buy a Coca-Cola, you go to a supermarket, you go to a store, there's a partnership there. Because as a product company, which is a Coca-Cola company, they have a partnership with a bottling company that actually bottles Coke into a can or a bottle, and then it's sold through a retailer. So there's two levels of partnership here. This is how most business happens. Like everybody that starts selling directly to a consumer or a customer, but then once you start scaling, you realize that the cost of selling bites into your margins. So that's when people start building partnerships. And in the most commonest sense, right, like whether it's a supermarket is a partnership, it also plays the same role in the tech industry that we are in. So if you guys know, OpenAI announces a different partnership almost every week. 1 week they say they have a $50 billion partnership with Microsoft. 2 months later, they're building a partnership with Oracle, right? Why? This allows them to have distributorship. So 50% is a metric that's common across all industries. Specific to software industry, it's almost at 70%. Now, that being the case, you would expect people to have a very sophisticated system around this. The sophisticated system is still phone calls, emails, and spreadsheets, and then very disparate systems. So sales, there's a lot of AI systems out there, AI software companies that are coming to help with marketing, top of the funnel marketing. There are a lot of companies that help with business leads and everything else. But when it comes to partnership, Salesforce is not going to help you out. You still need to pick up a phone and figure out what's happening at a different company, because even though we use data-driven aspects within our own organization, it's really hard to share all of that data and drive true data-driven and AI-driven innovation across organizations. So this is the wedge that StarPlot plays in. And why does this matter? Because every year, most organizations, and this is for software companies, they lose 60% of their partners. What does that mean? It's like any customer that you're working with a particular partner with, 60% of that is at risk now, because the partner is walking away because you don't have a good relationship, or something else is missing, somebody's leaving. All these things play a role in this. And for the software industry, that's almost $90 billion a year that's at risk, because partnerships is not managed and maintained well. Now, added to that is today's panel discussion around what AI does. Somebody was talking about how AI makes perfect resumes. You know what it does? It actually breaks trust. So now with AI, with the adoption of Gen AI, so I should be very specific. I'm talking about Gen AI in this case. Content has become really cheap. We needed experts before. We also needed expertise to produce content. Now, you could see some companies advertising this. You don't need to have expertise. You can tell ChatGPT or Claude to say, hey, tell me something, or write a cool blog post on this, and here's one single sentence. And then what do? You go to LinkedIn and you publish like you're the expert on it, right? That's what most companies are doing in marketing. But what it has done, it has reduced and impacted the trust that people have, which as somebody on the panel mentioned that, now it's like ask people out for a coffee, or as Olga, the startup before me, said, hey, we don't trust people on Zoom calls anymore. We have to meet them in person, otherwise we don't trust them, right? So in a business sense, what that means is a customer now will ask for a reference. Somebody that they trust then introduces. So if I say the smart, like let's say Apple and Samsung, and you trust somebody and they say Samsung is better than Apple, you'd probably pick Samsung, right? It goes with, the trust comes in through partnership. Now, this is where StartBlock comes in, because we don't have a common system across organizations to carry the impact of this data to help them go to market well. And more importantly, we want to build a common currency so that we become the single source of truth on partnerships, so that you can share data between different CRMs or between different ERP systems. But more importantly, there's collaboration across the go-to-market teams at two different organizations, right? So how does this actually work? We have 4 different pillars. The first one is discover. If you want to go find a partner these days, you still have to go to Google, or what most people do, they ask a friend of a friend, whether it's on LinkedIn and most mature organizations still do that. This is a pain point I'll live through. I helped build a company called Dataiku I joined them when they were a Series A company. I built out their customer team till we reached a Series F. So went from around 15 million to 150 million in around 5 years. And my biggest pain point was because I was responsible for retaining our revenue, and I needed partners. The other thing is we had to go into new verticals. Like, we didn't have any expertise on that, or we had to enter new markets. Whether we wanted to go into Brazil or Croatia or India, we needed to find the right partners. And then I realized there was no true system of finding partners. So that's our core thing that we're building out, which is our long-term vision to be the place where people go to find partners. The second place is around enablement. Again, building out, right? Like, everybody has a different system. How do you actually constantly enable your partner to know who you are? The third place is around execution, which is where we are currently with our pilot customers. We allow different teams to collaborate on the customer as well as across partners, so that you can share not only deals but also projects. So if there are 3 companies working on a single project, we have become the single source of truth. We'll integrate to the CRMs of the different companies. We'll have the governance around the data, and then allow the 3 companies to talk to each other, reducing the cost as well as the time it takes to run projects like that. And then finally, our ultimate goal is to help companies expand their revenue. Quickly, this is our team. We are built in the Midwest. Most of these folks are in Northwest Indiana. We have a few people that are one in Colorado, one in Chicago, actually. So that's a team, and then ultimately, our goal is we are building the Salesforce killer of the next decade. I'll open it up for questions. Yes.
So just going back to that slide, when you discuss like the steps in your value chain, is the KPI the number or volume of partner-sourced opportunities?
The KPI.
I'll put it another way. Are you bringing resellers or some kind of partners or distributors or reference partners, what have you, MSPs, MSSPs, to a startup? Are you brokering those introductions, or is this a system for managing those relationships that the ISV already has?
Okay. Ultimately, our KPI is in brokering those. So what we're currently doing is we're actually helping that's our biggest KPI. Because the biggest pain point is, even if you hire somebody who has the network, you're kissing a lot of frogs. Almost a 60%, I don't know if I can say that, kissing frogs, but toads, whatever, right? That's what happens. It doesn't, so a good partner for one company is definitely not the good partner for the other company. So I'll give you an example, right? Let's say I have a startup or a scale up in the cybersecurity space specific to IAM. And then what happens is when I'm trying to find partners in a different vertical or a different region, I can't just go to any cybersecurity, which is what happens. People are like, oh, you're cybersecurity, this cybersecurity. It doesn't work that way. So then what we do is we allow the whole employee base at an organization to be onto our platform. So our AI model will tell you what is the skill set of an organization based on the people, not what is claimed. Right? And that becomes a higher match. So that's one of the matches. Then we understand who the prospects and customers are. Our ultimate KPI, short answer to your question is yes, it's brokering those partnerships that you can find and helping you go into new verticals. We are also tackling this. There are incumbents in the market that work on partnership, but most of them, if you look at a sales funnel, they're top of the funnel. They help you get leads, right? If you understand sales parlance, that's like saying, I know somebody who'll buy your product, right? That's where partnership is always stuck. I come from a customer success background, and my thesis is that partnerships are valuable not just for initial sales, they're crucial for the life cycle of the customer, right? And there is no system out there that actually helps you organize that or like work with a partner through the whole life cycle, whether from marketing down to customer support can get engaged. Yes.
How do you get companies to sign up to your platform? What's your pitch?
What is my pitch? So if you are a scale up, so our target audience are product companies. And we are focused on the software vertical for now, like soft tech. The pitch is that they want partners. And second thing is, most of them either are thinking about partnerships. A lot of them are realizing that in the AI world, partnership is more foundational than it used to be. It used to be an afterthought. Like once you are like 15 million, let's think about partnership because then you have motion. Now with AI, you're thinking right off the bat as soon as you are a startup. So our pitch to startups and scale-ups is that we'll help you find the partners, we'll help you set your strategy with partners, and then build it on our platform. So from trial and error, we have found out that we have to offer a services model that allows them to onboard onto our system. So what we have done so far with our early adopters is to provide a partnership as a service model. We take a flat fee, flat license fee, a very small portion, then we take a revenue share of the partners that come on and the revenue that comes with them. For the services side of the business, a lot of them that are truly value their skill set over marketing and white lies are very interested to be on our platform so that they can actually connect with these ISVs. Beyond, yes, you had a question.
So when it comes to partnership,
Yes.
every single industry, and
Yes.
even down to companies within the industry,
Mhm.
operate differently.
Yes.
So therefore, the partnership and the models and all that might varies.
Mhm.
So I guess my question to you is, one, does your product adapt to the company and that industry and what they're doing and how they do things? And if it doesn't, what do you get out of the box?
Can we model it? Yes. We are not there yet. My first pitch was for this product when I had an idea was this is for ISVs and SIs. Those who are in the sales, they know ISVs, independent software vendors, and solution integrators, right? I got challenged by people in the hard tech and manufacturing industry saying they actually have a bigger problem with partnership because most of them sell through partners. There is a base commonality on partner information management. There's no true CRM for partnerships. What currently exists is like, I give you a partner portal, you log in, and you give me a deal or whatever, but I keep all the information. And then you will have your own partner portal. So what happens? Most companies have 50 to 70 partners. Some of the more mature ones have hundreds or if not thousands. Who's going to log into thousands of partner portals, right? Nobody uses it. In our instance, what we are offering is a collaborative space. So if I invite my partner, they get full access to the system, and then all the other partners is the same way. So we're building a network where you just have a single sign-on. And our pitch because we're also working with a hard tech company out of the Northwest who are doing distributorship in the hard tech industry, they don't have this basic. So we are starting with the basic data that you need to know who your partners, know who your joint customers are, having basic information like licensing, projects that's happening, the deal flow itself that's exposed to both sides. That's common across all industries. What we are looking to see is we want to partner with, we are actually in talks to partner with certain organizations that want more customized. And the way, we have to make a product roadmap decision if how much of the customization makes sense across the board. And I think a lot of the customizations are just because they had to work around tools. So if you break that down, they don't need those customizations because we will try to make sure that they have the right tooling required and operational setup required for it. That's a long-winded answer, sorry.
That was a good one. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
Is it a flat rate or is it a commission-based?
We are early enough, we are testing it out. So it's a flat license fee across the board. It's not per seat. Our ultimate goal is to create a platform for trust and governance, right? LinkedIn doesn't offer it. There was a guy on LinkedIn who claimed to be the CEO of LinkedIn for a year. He has a TED talk on it, right? It's a reality. Why? Because LinkedIn looks at marketing data, they just want people on it, right? Bots and everything else. Our goal is because it's a flat fee for the organization, depending on the size of the organization. From the perspective of finding partners, we are testing out a model on what that rate would look like where we get a percentage of the revenue that's generated. We want to be more outcome driven rather than like, okay, pay us. Because I think per seat model is out the door. And ultimately, what we want to have is agents for every organization, right? Because one thing that most salespeople, anybody in a go-to-market role hates is data. I would love to go have conversations. I don't want to come and put the notes back, or I'll have meetings. I might put like 3 sentences in, but there was other things. So what we want to do is we are going to integrate into Zoom and everything else. We'll be able to just summarize it. So data entry is taken away as a problem. And then we are not a data intelligence platform. We don't want to be an data and analytics. We want to be more intelligence, right? Like that we can gather out.
Is this like
Yeah.
When I was in like partner leading roles, the guys at Crossbeam were chasing me all the time.
Yes.
Is this like a Crossbeam or is it more like, and I felt that Crossbeam is just a tool,
Yes.
not real revenue value add. I'm ready
Yes.
for revenue outcomes.
Yes.
So
Crossbeam does it. So what Crossbeam does is they allow different organizations to sign up in Crossbeam. Yeah, they basically say, hey, this person has 10 of your common customers or prospects, right? So Crossbeam actually partners. So we were thinking of partnering with Crossbeam if possible. We will do what Crossbeam does plus, right?
plus, because it's really hard to justify the ROI on a Crossbeam, right?
And they charge.
Partner, I will exchange my accountants, right?
Yes, exactly.
Other ISVs. So it's not, it wasn't.
So this is the other point. Partnership is used to be treated as a stepchild of any go-to-market organization. They didn't get enough money. And so when I'm thinking about building this, I started building this because I was working on a different AI idea, and a $5 billion company CEO said, if you build this, I'll buy, right? He's still on my list, and that's what I'm working towards, because I know how much he spends on partnerships. So the goal was because most tools target partnership teams, and then there are siloed customer success teams. The problem is collaboration, not even collaboration across organizations. Within an organization, people don't know who the partners are, who they should work with. There is information, most people don't bother to ask support teams who we should partner with, but they have valuable information. So to your question, Crossbeam is not our competitor. They're probably the person in the market who has raised the most amount of money, and they do charge an arm and a leg. I don't think they provide ultimate value because it's still like, here's a data point. Yes. Our goal is like, you can have transactional, but we are very intentional about long-term strategic partnerships here. We are not trying to take business away where you have affiliate marketing, right? We have had quite a few people who want to do that, and I'm like, that's not the model we are trying. Maybe in the future, we can get into that, but yeah. Yes. AI aspect. My thing on AI is is table stakes, it should be fundamental. So two aspects for me. One is the user interface. So our landing page is a prompt-driven landing page, not like traditional charts or anything else. The second aspect of the AI for us is like I said, we want to be able to we are not there yet, but what we want to do is like data entry is remote, so we can pull in data and set it up in such a way that people don't need to, the most value that people get out of something like this would be if they get data out instead of putting data in, right? And the third piece where we want to get to is to provide intelligence on your product. I'll give you an example. One of the things that we do that everybody likes is that we allow you to rate your partner or your customer. Currently, you can go do Google reviews. In Google reviews, it's either a 1 or a 5 most times. People either hate you or they love you, otherwise nobody cares about giving you a review. And in the enterprise space, it's worse. It's like you actually pay people to go review you, so it's pay to play, right? I've done that, that's why I know. We make people give awesome reviews. So everybody's got a 5-star. If you look at Gartner, all these people shouldn't be leaders. Like 1 or 2 of them are true leaders. Others have no business being leaders, right? What we do, yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah. Certain companies have a $50 limit. Some companies don't have a limit, so we'll take you out to a nice dinner. Yeah, it's a survey. Fill out a survey. Yeah, and we tell them, don't give us a 4-star. It's useless. Give us a 5-star. In Europe, it's harder because Europeans consider 4-star is amazing. And Americans only consider 5-star. Sorry, I digress, right? So with us, we are doing this rating. The goal is that people at leadership level are able to make decisions using data that the whole organization can have an input in it. It's democratized. Because it's private to the company, you can give whatever review you want because you're more honest within your own organization because it goes away. People do give you reviews. But it's in emails and Slack somewhere, and then people are like hating you for it, right? And then the partner manager becomes the data broker, which we are taking away because everybody has access to this now. The second aspect of it, this is where the AI piece comes. Once you have 10 or 15 partners, not only are you rating them, they're rating you. Now we have anonymized data. We don't want to tell you if there's only 2 partners, hey, they think your sales or your PS sucks. But now across 15 partners, is we know that they rated your support as horrible, or there's this one particular feature in your product that's a problem. We now want to provide that as an intelligence for you. Hey, that's a gap here that either you invest in or you cut away. So those are some of the use cases. I can keep talking about it, but like, yeah. All right. No more questions, I think. I appreciate your time. Thank you for staying so late. We actually passed 9. Sorry. Have a good night.
Thanks, Ulysses.
Here's, I'll leave this here. Do you work in partnerships?